All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. And let's pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All praise and esteem to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, Mika. Isaiah 8 and 10. Shalom, Brother Herman, man. Take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for Elohim with us. For he will spake thus to me with a strong hand and instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying, say you not a confederacy to all to whom this people I heard that. All this people shall say a confederacy, neither fear you their fear, nor be afraid. Sanctify Yahuwah of hosts himself, let him be your fear, let him be your dread. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, for a rock of offense to the both houses of Yasharal, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Many among them shall stumble, fall, and be broken, be snared, and taken. Bind up the testimony and seal the law among my disciples, and I will wait upon you, who will hide his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. Behold, I and the sons whom Yahuwah have given me are for signs and for wonders, and Yasharal from Yahuwah of hosts which dwell in Mount Zion. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, shall not a people seek unto the Elohim, for the living to the dead, to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. Shalom, dear Eric, man. Yeah, man. Shoot, baby on some other type of time. Shalom, Mom Steph. You're welcome. Peace, Brother Omar. So, we concluded. Peace, Brother Rob. Where we was at, Isaiah 58. But let me do something right now. See, we run verse 16 in Isaiah 8 again. Shalom, Jay. Say Jay and labor, y'all. She ready.
Say, bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. And I will wait upon Yahuwah that hide his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him.
Verse 18.
Behold, I and the children whom Yahuwah have given me for signs and for wonders in Yasharal, from Yahuwah of hosts, which dwell in Mount Zion.
What's up, Zo? Pause. Do y'all remember what verse 18 is referring to? That go mother. Come over here to Genesis chapter 30. Shalom, Brother Marcus, man. What was it, 32? I might be in the wrong chapter, y'all. Bear with me. Yeah, 32. Let's see what verse I want. Come on, read me verse 10, man. Genesis 32 and 10.
I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which you have showed unto your servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. For
okay, no. I'm in the wrong chapter. It's 33. Come over here to 33 and you can pick it up at verse 1, man. My bad. Genesis 33 and 1.
And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah, and unto Rachel, and unto the two handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times, until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him, and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children, and said, who are those with you? And he said, the children which Elohim have graciously given your servant.
Paul, say it again.
Then he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and children and said, who are those with you?
And he said, who?
The children which Elohim have graciously given your servant.
Slow, Eric, man. Tell him what graciously is, man. Then go back and read, after you say that, read Genesis 33 and 5 one more time. And then read Isaiah 8 and 18 one more time.
That's Canaan, to be gracious, to show favor.
These are the favor of Yahuwah, if you would. Remember Psalms 127 tell you that. Read 33 and 5 one more time, then Isaiah 8 and 18.
And he lifted up his eyes and saw the woman and the children and said, who are those with you? And he said, the children which Elohim had graciously given your servant.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Behold, I and the children whom Yahuwah hath given me for signs and for wonders, and Yasharah from whom Yahuwah of hosts, which dwell in Mount Zion.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's come over here to Mark. 16 and 14. Come on with it.
Afterward, he appeared unto the 11 as they sat at meat, and upbraided them with their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they believed not them which had seen him after he was risen.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, go you into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He that believe and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believe not shall be damned.
Mm-hmm.
And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils.
These signs, shalom, each man. Read that again.
And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues.
Shalom.
They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover.
Mm-hmm.
So then after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up in the Shamaim and sat on the right hand of Elohim.
Now that's good. Now come over here to what this is. The second Corinthians 4. I don't even know if I got this in this book. Ruthie, what's the problem? Huh, Ruthie? Ruthie. Let me look and see. I'll go to Isaiah 8 and 18 and tell them what signs and wonders is.
Signs is oath, a sign, a signal, a distinguishing mark.
Mm-hmm. That sign, oath, a signal, distinguishing mark is the Ruach HaKodesh, wonders.
No faith, that's a wonder, a sign, a miracle.
Shalom, Brother Ernest. So listen, he said the children that he has given me is for signs and wonders. Because a lot of people talk about a lot of stuff that the apostles did. But the apostles are the fulfilling of Isaiah 8 and 18. You know what I'm talking about? And also what's in Genesis 33 and 5. Why is the importance of Genesis 33 and 5? How you know that those sons are representative of the apostles? What lets you know that? You're going to have to look a chapter back to be able to put that together, though. That's when he become Israel. So, of course, we just talked about this the other day. This is the representative of Mashiach overcoming the adversary, resurrecting from the dead. He got power with God, and now these sons that he have are representative of that. You know what I'm saying? That he has graciously given him. Representative of the apostles, if you would. You know what I'm talking about? Now, the apostles went about doing signs and wonders. You know what I'm talking about? Because you'll have people say that, okay, if you don't do a sign and a wonder, then you don't have the spirit. Shalom, Brother Mark. Of course, you know what his name is? Gino. I know Gino said if you don't speak in tongues, you ain't got the spirit. Book don't say that. You know what I'm talking about? Book don't say that. You know how we know that? Let's take a look, see it. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 27 on general principle. What's up, Nola? That's how we know that. And I think I need to, damn, let's say somebody put an 8-month-old baby in the road and he got ran over on the riverside.
8 months.
8 months.
Now you are the body of Hamashiach and members in particular, and Elohim have set some in the assembly.
What he said them in?
First apostles.
First apostles.
Secondarily prophets.
Secondarily prophets.
Thirdly teachers.
Thirdly teachers.
After that, miracles. Then gifts of healing, helps, governments, diversities of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues?
Do all speak with tongues?
Do all interpret?
Do all interpret?
But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
Come on, let's read that one more time. 1 Corinthians 12 and 27. Let's slow it down.
Now you are the body of Hamashiach.
You are what?
The body of Hamashiach.
And
members in particular.
In particular.
And Elohim have set some in the assembly. First apostles.
The first thing he set in the body is apostles. You know how you know this? Because the man picked the 12. You know what I'm saying? The apostles is the highest office in the body. There's not a position in the body higher than them. You know why? Because they're emissaries, they're ambassadors, and they have something that everybody else don't have. And that is the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach from Genesis to Malachi. That's why they're in the highest position in the body. We were just talking about that with the young lady, what Derek was talking about, when she was like, peace, Barry, man. When she was like, yeah, they down with the connected with the plug. We were talking about, she was talking about, are there any successful Hebrew Israelite marriages? I say, man, you know, a lot of people biggest problem is, and I told her this, is you on the internet too goddamn much. So when you on the internet, you only dealing with a small circle of people. And what ends up happening is you start having confirmation bias. What is confirmation bias? Your mind will begin to confirm any positive or negative thing that you see that's going to support the particular view that you have. You'll believe that that is the overwhelming and overarching view worldwide. When in reality, you're in a small snapshot of people. You know what I'm talking about? Because she mentioned to me, like she said, man, I thought everybody listened to the UPK. I'm like, everybody does it. Everybody doesn't even know who they are. It seems like that because you're in a small pond. You know what they like to say about certain people? He's a big fish in a what? Small pond. You're the big man on campus, but you go to a school of 100 people. You know what I'm saying? You go to a campus with 50,000 people, ain't nobody gonna know who you are. We talked about that before. This is no disrespect to any of these people. But boy, don't nobody know who anybody in the UPK is compared to TD Jakes. People know who TD Jakes is, whether they believe the Bible or not. People know who Joel Osteen is. That doesn't mean anything about the doctrine. They just have a bigger reach. You know what I'm saying? Most Israelites don't have that type of reach. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm no matter if we was to go outside and you start mentioning these people names or organizations, don't nobody know who you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. Yeah, don't nobody know who you're talking about. They're not that big. You know what I'm saying? But in these circles that we be in, you round people, in your mind, you think they're that big because everybody talks about them. Or at least it seems that way. You know what I'm talking about? But in reality, don't nobody know you, cuz. I would say the only Israelite I know of that people might know on a mainstream who he is Cap. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because he done been on 85 South Show. He done been on No Jumper. You know what I'm saying? You do stuff like that, people might know who you are. They have a bigger reach. You know what I'm saying? But you know about mainstream? How many of y'all knew who Eddie Long was, even though you was out here running the streets doing whatever? Everybody know who TD Jakes is. A lot of people know who Jamal Bryan is. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just mentioning black people. People definitely know who Kenneth Copeland and Creflo Dollar is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about their teachings. You know, they're popular. They have large followers. Joyce Myers. Definitely a lot of people know who she is. That was your favorite preacher when you were young? Y'all too young. I told y'all about it before. Y'all too young to remember Jim Baker. Miles Monroe was very popular and he was very known. You know what I'm saying? Like, but most Israelite people, on the world view, man, don't nobody know who he is, bro. We go in the hood right now and go to talking about, y'all already know that because some of y'all be around there. Don't nobody know who them people is, man. I just was telling her, baby, you got to go outside and touch grass because real people don't know who these people is. You know what I'm saying? We know because we're in the circles. That's it. You know what I'm talking about? But come on with it. Where we at with it?
1 Corinthians 12 and 27.
Read it again.
Say, now you are the body of Hamashiach, and members in particular. And Elohim have set some in the assembly, first apostles.
The reason why apostles is that's God ordained. Elohim got to make you an apostle. A man cannot make you an apostle. What's the next one?
Secondarily, prophets.
Prophets is Elohim ordained. A man can't make you a prophet. You know what I'm saying? God got to do that. For extra credit, Civic, where's that to prove it? Gonna have to go to summer school now. But ask your wife, man. Y'all always be cheating anyway. I see her passing notes to you in class. But Johnny got his church shirt on. He ready. You on the clock.
Here, where's that?
What you got, Lil Johnny? Read this, Brother Strom. Huh? Don't tell me nothing. It's a lot of numbers. A billion. 65. He look like he cheating with that shirt on. Just got a pocket on it.
Number 12.
Come on, Civic. Number 12 and 1.
And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, have Yahuwah indeed spoken only by Moses?
Only by Moses?
Have he not spoken also by us? And Yahuwah heard.
He heard it. They hating.
Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. Yahuwah spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron, unto Miriam, come out you three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came
We're
out.
not really coming out there for them talking against Moses. We're coming in here for the statement that Yahuwah is about to make. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam. And they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you.
If there be a who?
A prophet among
you. If there be a who?
Prophet among you.
What happened?
I, Yahuwah, will make myself known unto him in a vision and will speak unto him in a dream.
Man, that's how you get made a prophet. Yahuwah make himself known to you in a vision or a dream. Nigga just can't pop up talking about he a prophet. Like we were telling people, they ain't talking about you a prophet because you reading prophecies out the book. Man, go lay down. No, you ain't no prophet because you can read. That mean the niggas in jail prophets because they in there reading every day. They trying to prophesy their way out that time. And guess where they ended up going at? Up that highway, like Anthony Hamilton said. Up that highway. So yeah, that's why those are the two highest positions in the body. Because upon receiving the Spirit, God has to put you in those positions. Everything else that he mentioned in his gifts of the Spirit, these are actual. Well, teachers going to come up, which is actual functioning. A man can make you a teacher. He can ordain you and appoint you to be a teacher because we can read that. He said they ordained elders in every city. That means, and it was only the apostles doing this because they had information that nobody else had. They had to go do this. The word couldn't have proliferated with just 12 men having it. Which is why, of course, y'all already know this, why he say the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. The reality of the situation is this. This man ain't never had a whole bunch of people working for him. Ever. You know what I'm saying? In comparison to the population. But let's return back to 1 Corinthians 12:27. I always spend more than my time.
Now you are the body of Hamashiach, and members in particular, and Elohim have set some in the assembly. First apostles.
First what?
Apostles.
Secondarily.
Prophets.
Thirdly.
Teachers.
That means when it comes to structure in the organization, 1, 2, 3. Where there's no apostle, then the prophet is above the teacher. Where there's no prophet, then the teacher is the highest in the organization at that time. What does that mean? That does not mean they have authority over your life. That means they have authority of what happens inside the assembly, that it is ran in due order. Just on general principle, 1 Timothy 3 and 14. That's all that means. We were telling that young lady that earlier. I reference that and reiterate that and repeat that because y'all need to know that. Because what she was asking about was counsel with married people, a counsel period. Of course, you know, there will be controversies. You can have controversies with your spouse. You can have controversies with your brother. You can have controversies with your sister. What I'm telling people is this here, and y'all know this because I've told you this before. You need to work that out amongst yourselves first. Y'all are grown. If you do not have the maturity and the conflict resolution skills to resolve matters with people that you claim that you love, then you need to go get some help. But if it's a matter that you can't resolve, because guess what? That does happen. What does the book tell you to do? Go get 2 or 3 witnesses. He said that won't do it. He said bring it in front of the body. Now, before that, who did all the controversies go to? Huh? No, they went to Moses. When they went in the wilderness, remember Jethro said, man, you taking too much on yourself. Man, you gonna crumble under this. So he said captains over 50s, captains over hundreds, captains over thousands, and the issues that were too difficult, he said, bring it to me. So the only time counsel between whoever's over the assembly is supposed to be brought is when it's too difficult for the 2 parties to handle. You know what I'm saying? Not on the aspect of this person want to be meddling in their life, because when you look in the word, these men were not trying to be intertangled in people's personal lives. I would talk, me and Trav were talking with a brother a long time ago, man, probably sometime late last year or summertime, and he was like, you know, we shepherds, we're supposed to watch out for the flock. No. It's not my job to tell you who to marry and who not to marry. It's not my job to find you a husband. You know whose job that is? That's your daddy's job. You know what I'm talking about? That's not my job. My job is to watch for your soul. My job is to administer the word. My job is to be an example. My job is to give exhortation. My job is to give admonishment. My job is to give encouragement, not find you a spouse. I'm not your daddy. And I don't want to be your daddy. You know what I'm talking about? You got a daddy. Go to him for that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't want to hear, well, what if your father's not in the word? He didn't put no caveat on whether your father was godly or not. You think every Israelite in this book father was godly? Did that take away from his responsibilities as a father? Don't worry, I'll wait. Peace, Brother Joseph. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm talking about. It's Bruce who feel like it's the teacher's job to regulate every aspect of everybody's life. Y'all already know how I feel about that. I absolutely refuse. I will not. Y'all grown. How many of y'all in here 30 and older? The hell I look like? You know what I'm talking about? Remember dude talking about, yeah, man, we got to chaperone them. I'm not chaperoning no 30-year-old woman, no 30-year-old man. I'm not doing that. That's what you do for children, literally. Shalom, says Regina. I'm not doing that. Y'all are grown. You know whose job it is if y'all got teenage grown, you know what I'm saying? That's your job to watch over them, not mine. What I mentioned that for is a lot of Israelites are taking away the responsibility and power that you're supposed to have in your own life and making it there so they can rule over you. That's not how it's supposed to be. And every opportunity that come up where I got to mention that, I'm going to mention it. And if I wouldn't care if I mentioned it for 6 weeks in a row. If it came up and I needed to mention it, I'm going to mention it again. Not for the fact that y'all don't pick that up, but so that can be communicated to other people that you may come across so they may know that's not his job, bro. That's not his job. Does that mean you can't seek the preacher's counsel in the decision? I done seen people tell people, hey, the preacher said I can't take this job, so I can't take it. Nigga, you got to be crazy as all out the hoes, man. I can't tell you what to do. That's not my job. Only people I can tell what to do is my turn. Hell, and shoot, Joanne don't listen. So there's that. Yeah, then if it goes wrong, they blame the ministry, and that's why you can't be involved in people's lives like that. People have to be responsible for the choices and decisions that they make. You know what I'm saying? But on top of that, why do you want so much control in another person's life? You know what I'm saying? That's the part I don't understand. Because I'm not going for that. No grown nigga telling me what I can and can't do. Absolutely not. Come on, man.
And these things write out unto you, hoping to come unto you shortly. But if I tarry long, that you may know how you ought to behave yourself in the house of Elohim.
Let you know how to ought to behave yourself where?
In the house of Elohim.
Tell them what behave means, man. You know how to behave? How many of y'all parents used to tell you were misbehaving? Johnny, you look like your mama told you that all the time.
And the stressful, that's to conduct oneself, to behave oneself.
You got to know how to conduct yourself. Johnny, you look like you used to go to church and bite them ladies. vitamins. I'm talking about when you was like 3 to 5, not like advanced. You go up, just bite them and run away.
That's how you.
I never been to church, so that wasn't me. I know you was there.
Biting people.
It was like they make you mad. They ain't give you no candy. It's, I got tricked you.
My Spanish teacher told me to stop my shenanigans. Never forget that.
He was in there harassing that lady, man. Come on, Sid.
He said, which is the assembly of the living Elohim, the pillar and ground of the truth. Without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. Elohim was manifest in the flesh, justified in the Ruach, seen of Malachim, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, and received up into esteem.
Come on back to 1 Corinthians. All that means is you got to know how to behave yourself in the congregation. Pointing to that's where the authority stop at. You running that. Like when you come in that assembly, that's that man's house. And he's the overseer of that house. He running. When you go on the other side of that door, that's up to you. That's right, Omar. Come on.
Now you are the body of Hamashiach, members in particular, and Elohim have set some in the assembly. First apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers. After that, miracles.
After the instructors. So the instructors have the highest positions in the body. He said after that what?
Miracles, then gifts of healing.
So Paul, it's miracles, then healings, which are signs and wonders. Notice that he didn't rank those above that. I mentioned that because I didn't read what Mika said out loud. But she was like she said the pressure of not being able to speak in tongues, something had to be wrong or didn't have the spirit. That's what Christians tell you. Speaking in tongues is just, if you're not speaking in a heavenly language, you're speaking in another language. And what good is it if nobody knows what you're saying? Of course, y'all already know that. We don't got to read that. Come on. All right, we'll come back to that, Brother Herman. Go ahead.
Helps governments, diversities of tongues.
Helps governments, diversity of tongues. You notice that tongues is way down the list. Go ahead.
Are all apostles?
Are all what?
All apostles?
Are all
prophets?
Are all
teachers?
Are all
workers of miracles?
Are all
have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret?
Does everybody do that? No. What'd he say?
But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
So the point is, you not being able to do something that's not evidence of the spirit itself is a gift, and then you have gifts of the spirit. You can have the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh, but not gifts of the Ruach HaKodesh at the same time. And you can have 3-4 gifts of the Ruach HaKodesh, and somebody else can have one. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a mention of what you have or what you don't have. The objective is to obtain the spirit, because any gift you have of the spirit is supposed to be for the edifying of the body, to the esteeming of the Father and the magnification of the Son of God. If it ain't anything to do with that, then nigga just talk. Oh, you ain't got tongues, you ain't got the spirit. Nigga, what? What's wrong with you? But you speaking in tongues, ain't nobody there to interpret. So how did I know you were speaking in tongues? Nobody told me what you said. I wasn't edified or benefited from what you just did. You just put on a performance. Because that's what the book say, do. Let all things be done to edify. Ain't that what the Lord said? Now, I've only mentioned that there because he said his sons are for signs and for wonders. Now, signs and wonders are two separate things. The Ruach HaKodesh in you in and of itself is a sign. Remember, that's oath. That in itself is a sign because you seal. Goes back to what? Seal the law among my disciples. When you are sealed with the Ruach HaKodesh, that is a sign in and of itself. Remember when we were looking at the Sabbath with the Exodus 31 and it said that for a sign? Do you recall? Little Johnny don't remember. Let's go back to Isaiah 58. Little Johnny, you remember that?
Yeah, I believe so.
He said he believed. He ain't know. Actually gotta believe. Let me see what the last. The power of God, personal injury, circumcision, incest. Incest is the biggest one right there, man.
Isaiah 58.
We're gonna look at one of these contradictions that they have with the holy lifestyle, temptation, and punishing a crime. But let's get back to Isaiah 58 of what they believe is what are contradictions, because they got a lot of them and they trash. I want you to pick this back up in Isaiah 58:3. I think we established what cry loud and spare not and lift up your voice like a trumpet was indicating. But let's pick it up at verse 3. Shalom, Brother Craig, man.
Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and you see not? Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and you take no knowledge?
Take no knowledge.
Behold, in the day of your fast, you find pleasure and exact all your labors.
All your labors.
Behold, you fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. You shall not fast as you do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high.
To make your voice heard where?
On high.
To make your voice heard where?
On high.
The purpose of afflicting your soul for fasting. When you fast, let's take a look at that. What that is in Samuel, when the baby finna die with David, man. Let me take a look at that. Let me read it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Might be way back over here.
Chapter 12. Sure.
There. Mm-hmm. Come over here to 2 Samuel, chapter 12. And pick it up at verse 12. 2 Samuel 12:12.
For you did secretly, but I'll do this thing before all Yasharal and before the sun. David said unto Nathan.
Oh, you know what, man? And I seen another dude say this. The man's posted this. He talking about we don't need no biblical TMZs. You know what I'm saying? And I get what he meant, but you know what I hate what these Israelite niggas be doing? Talking about you don't need to be putting stuff on blast. We need to do stuff in private. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because in Luke chapter 12 and verse 1, what did this man say? Does anybody know what he said in Luke 12:1? Off the top of their head. If not, we can read it. Anybody know what that man said? You know why I don't like what these niggas talking about? We got to do stuff in private? Because you read what a man say, open rebuke. It's better than what? Didn't he put his son to an open shame? Didn't he rebuke his son in front of everybody? But you want to take a whole wicked nigga and do it in private. No, nigga. Luke 12:1. I don't be liking that, man. No, I don't try to protect this wicked nigga's ego. That's all these niggas want to do is try to protect this wicked nigga's ego. I ain't saying you got to make it no doggone TV trial or nothing. But come on, man, be serious with yourself. Luke 12:1. Listen to what he say. And I'm reading this here because he finna say this what he did with David. But we can back it up in verse 11 in 2 Samuel 12. But read Luke 12:1. Listen to what he say.
In the meantime, when they were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto the disciples.
What he told them?
First of all, beware you of the leaven of the Pharisees.
Beware of who?
The leaven of the Pharisees.
Beware of who?
The leaven of the Pharisees.
Go ahead.
Which is hypocrisy.
Which is what?
Hypocrisy.
You better beware this bread these people selling you, man, because this bread they selling is hypocrisy. And you know that's kanaf in Hebrew, they unfaithful. See, it ain't just hypocrisy when we look at it in English, where you say one thing and do another. These are not faithful men. And I guess you remember what Paul said, a steward got to be found what, Sibby? And didn't he say he called the faithful? Read Revelation 3:14, man. You got to pay attention to that, man. If a nigga ain't faithful to God, how he going to be faithful to you? Shalom, Quran, man. Revelation 3:14, real quick.
And unto the Malachim of the assembly of the Laodiceans, write, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of Elohim.
So if your king is a faithful and true witness, how you gonna listen to a dude who ain't faithful to him? He said, so you better beware of the things that they teaching, because what they teaching you gonna cause you to be unfaithful to God and a liar. Come on back to Luke 12:1. Got to guard you. Notice what he's doing. One thing you see what the Lord did is how you know he's a real one. And this is how you know that you're not supposed to be ruling over people. Because he gave him the game. Remember what he said, that no man deceive you. What he said, I've told you before. A real father will give you the information. It's on you to hearken to this information that I gave you so you don't make bad decisions. That's what you see in the book of Proverbs the whole time. I'm not going to try to control you and stop you from doing nothing. I gave you the game. I taught you. I gave you understanding. I gave you wisdom. And you despise my instruction. You have to deal with the fallout that comes from that. That don't mean that I won't be gracious to you. That don't mean that I won't be merciful to you. But I've given you the information. It's on you to hearken to what I told. How many times you read in Proverbs, he say, my son, lay these words up in your heart. You know what I'm saying? How many times the only thing you can do with your offspring is make sure that your life is reflective of what it is that you're teaching them and give them the game. Explain to them why you should. Just don't say don't do this. Explain to them why it's a deleterious decision. Explain to them how it can be destructive. Give them all the information necessary that they can make a wise decision, not just don't do that. Anybody can say don't. It don't take no teaching to say, son, don't touch the stove. You know what I'm saying? That's right. You got to chasten them. You got to give them the instruction. You got to take the time to teach them. But after that, once you done gave them the game, it's on them. What you remember what Paul said to them people? He said, man, I haven't shunned to hold back any of the counsel of Elohim. He said, therefore, my hands are clean. I gave you all the game I could give you. Now, if you get God, that's on you. You know why people be mad at their preachers for getting God? Because they know that man ain't give them all the game. But you know when somebody gave you all the game and you get God, you don't be mad with him. You be mad with yourself. Because you be like, damn, boy, Prop told me, man. Boy, he told me. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, I know I'm supposed to witness, especially if you go to jail for something and somebody told you. You sitting in there like this here, man. Damn, he told me. I know I shouldn't have did that. But that's the first road to taking to self-accountability, the way you'll make better decisions. You know what I'm saying? Usually you're going to have a lack of accountability when you know that ain't nobody really because when you give information, your people let you know that's on you. When the Lord said, I told you before, he was letting you know if you get God, that's on you. Because I done told you. Let me read that to you real fast so y'all just know I ain't making that up. Say where you at, Sue. Not for the Bible told me so. That's what that wild with. You look here, right? You got him in verse 4 of Matthew 24. It said, Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. This is what he's telling them. Now it's further down, right here in verse 22, Matthew 24. I just wanted to read the first one when he said, listen to me, that don't nobody lie to you. Except those days should be short, there should be no flesh saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, there is a Mashiach, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Mashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. Insomuch, if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. Behold, I've told you before. You know what I'm talking about? When he tell you that one there, I done already told you what the game is. I done gave you the game. I done told you what not to fall for. Baby, if you fall for that, that's on you. And remember, he started the conversation off with what? Take what? Heed that nobody lie to you. Why you think we take the time to look at certain stuff so don't nobody be able to lie to you? So can't nobody run that, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Most of these games these Israelites be running, man, that junk so elementary. I'm talking about that junk basic. I'm talking about kindergarten. You know why it works so effectively? Because they made sure to keep you on a pre-K level. So you wouldn't even know this elementary game that they running. They're not running. These dudes are not grade A, sociopaths and psychopaths in the art of manipulation. These boys ain't top level narcissists. These niggas are ingrates. I'm talking about quite possibly inbred ingrates. They're not that tactical and strategic and surgical with the manipulation that they pull it. They are exploiting your ignorance. That's why they aim to keep you ignorant, because then you won't be able to peep the game that they run. Come on, say it. Luke 12 and 1.
Saying, in the meantime, when they were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode one upon another, he began to say unto his disciples,
What he said?
First of all, beware you of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed.
There's nothing what?
Covered that shall not be revealed.
There's nothing what?
Covered that shall not be revealed.
What else?
Neither hid that shall not be known.
And what else?
Therefore, whatsoever you have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which you have spoken in the air and closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops.
Now you know what he's going to tell David? Let's look and see. 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 11.
Thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will raise up evil against you out of your own house. I will take your wives before your eyes and give them unto your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in the sight of this son.
For you did this what?
Secretly.
You did it where?
Secretly.
You did it what?
Secretly.
What else?
But I will do this thing before all Yasharal.
That's why I don't respect these dudes when they tell me I do it in private. You did it in secret. He said, I'm going to bust your head open in front of everybody. You know what I'm talking about? So you want to be wicked in private, you're going to get rebuked in the open. These boys don't believe in none of that, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to cover for your homeboy. You ain't supposed to cover for your homeboys. That's why I tell you can't be pro-black. You have to be pro-Yahuwah if you're going to serve him, because you'll be covering stuff up. What did he tell Jehoshaphat in second what are they, Kings 19? What he told him? He said, man, you don't judge for man. You judge for Yahuwah. You better not have no respect to person. I wouldn't give a damn who that nigga was. Boy, you supposed to check that nigga, man. If he out of pocket. I ain't talking about, oh, you did something, you like, hey, bro, tighten up. I'm talking about he sinning, bro. Like that young lady this morning, she asked like this here, so would you tell her? I can't tell nobody to lead a spouse. Now, y'all know it's only one thing I'm going to tell a woman to leave her spouse for off the top. What is that, sir?
They're beating on him.
If that nigga put his hands on you, you need to go. You know what I'm talking about? Don't call me and ask me, should you leave? Just leave. We sort all that other stuff. Don't stay there and go for round two. You know what I'm talking about? Don't sit there and try to figure out, maybe he won't do it again. Leave. Don't subject yourself to that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because that nigga definitely not come. Because she was asking me, what if a dude around here sleeping with a whole bunch of women? I say, man, ain't no nigga going to be in our congregation doing that. He ain't going to feel comfortable enough to stay here to do it. Because he know ain't nobody finna co-sign that. But you know that's how a lot of people feel. You know you should check people in private. That's because you don't want to be shamed. You wasn't shamed when you were sinning. Now when it's time when you get caught, you want some, no, nigga, get this shame. Boy, you earned all of that. And what you see David not do? You ain't see David say, no, don't do me like that. You know why David didn't say that? Because he knew he ought to what? Die. You committed adultery and got the man killed to cover up the adultery. That's right, Herb. When Peter checked Paul, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he stepped to him in front of everybody. He didn't wait to pull him to the side. Your law don't even tell you to do that. If you choose to do that, that's your business. But that's why everybody's so comfortable sinning and the way that they sin in this word, because everybody want to do stuff in private, so nobody don't really be knowing what type of time these niggas be on. Jamal, what's going on, son? That's the problem. Everybody just comfortable sinning, just cover up for me. You know, that's my op right there, man. You know, we're going to do a counsel in private. Nah, man, don't do nothing in private. God said David was a man after his own heart and put him on blast in front of everybody. And if he put his son to an open shame, who are you to try to hide? Be a man, and take responsibility for that in front of everybody. Read verse 11 again, 12 again. Man, these niggas crazy.
Say, for you did secretly, but I will do this thing before all Yasharal and before the sun. David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against Yahuwah. And Nathan said unto David, Yahuwah also hath put away your sin. You shall not die.
Howbeit,
because by his deed you have given great occasion to the enemies of Yahuwah to blaspheme.
The child
Also that is born unto you shall surely die.
and Nathan departed
Unto his house, and Yahuwah struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick.
David therefore,
Besought Elohim for the child,
and David what?
fasted
He
and
did what?
fasted.
Tell him what fasted is right there. See, that's stuff people don't want to hear. You know what most Israelites like to do? They like to put the woman on blast. They like to keep the dudes in the cut. You know what I'm talking about? I'm equal opportunity. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm talking about? John 8, man. I brought the woman and left the husband.
Assumed to abstain from food, to fast.
Same word that's in Isaiah. Yeah, a lot of dudes do that, man. I ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on that, man. You just can't pull the women out there and make them a spectacle, and we gonna rebuke the brothers in private. Nah, cuz that's not how that works. You wicked as hell. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with it, sir.
David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth.
He laid up when?
All night upon the earth.
And the elders
of his house arose and went to him to raise him up from the earth. But he would not, neither did he eat bread with them.
Notice that he stayed in prayer the whole time. I just want you to hear what David had to say about this matter. Continue.
And it came to pass on the seventh day that the child died, and the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was dead. For they said, Behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead?
But when David saw
that the servants whispered,
David perceived
that the child was dead.
Therefore David said to his servants,
Is the child dead?
And they said,
He is dead.
Then David arose
from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came into the house of Yahuwah and worshipped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat.
Then said his servants,
What is this? What thing is this that you have done? You did fast and weep for the child while it was alive, but when the child was dead, you did arise and eat bread.
And he said,
While the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept. For I said, Who can tell whether Elohim will be gracious to me that the child may live?
But now
he is dead. Wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he should not return to me.
You see what the point was? He was fasting so his voice could be heard on high. He didn't say this like he knew that the request would be granted, but he said, who would know if he'll be gracious to me or not? So I'll afflict and humble myself with the hope that he might hearken unto my plea. You know what I'm talking about? And then once the child died, he said, what's the point of fasting? His word has went forth out of his mouth. It has accomplished what he has determined. There is no need for me to continue to do this. But the point what we coming here for is, he said, is this not a fast that I have chosen, that your voice may be heard on high? What's up, Dave? I hope I said that right. Like, you got to think about that. You understand what I'm saying? When you fasting so whatever you're petitioning Yahuwah for, that your voice may be heard. Now, whether he grants that or not, you know, he told you that in John, if it be according to his will. I just want you to know, just because you fasting and praying does not mean that what you're requesting of him is just automatically going to be granted. But you're praying and fasting for the purpose of your voice to be heard on high. That's the if you fasted and you still want to go hang out and do this and do that, you might as well went and got you a burger. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not locked in. You know what I'm talking about? You're not locked in. You want to watch movies and all this other stuff. That means whatever you praying to this man for, it's not that important to you because you still enjoying all your labors and your pleasures and everything else. But if you was, because they say this man didn't even change clothes, man. This man out here every day. You know what I'm saying? Because what he was requesting of this man, it was important to him that in the off chance that you will be gracious in the hearkening to my voice. Everybody they don't tell us that. They just tell us to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everything has to be intentional and with purpose. You know what I mean? It's one more, man. Go to Joel, chapter 2. Tell me what verse 5 says. Dwayne Jamal. Dwayne Jamal. And that boy took a nap too, and that boy still on team.
It's like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise.
Make sure, because that's the Hebrews. You know, we're gonna be turning to Marvel X-Men. I don't want to deal with the Marvel X-Men. That's for real, bro.
Let's get superpowers.
So there it is, 12, 2 and 12. Superpowers, baby.
Therefore, also now say if you will turn you even to me with all your heart and with fasting.
Turn to me with all your what?
With all your heart.
Turn to me with all your what?
Heart.
Well, the first thing you're going to do, man, if you're going to seek to fast, you need to turn your whole inward man towards him. Tell him what fasting is in this word, man. See if it's a different word.
Assume again.
Okay, same word. Continue. Turn to me with all your what?
With all your heart.
And with
fasting.
And with
weeping.
And with
mourning.
That's why remember what he said, man. What the Lord told you in Matthew chapter 5, if you mourn, what would happen? You'll be comforted, and you would also be what? Blessed. Let's continue. And rend your what?
Heart and not your garment.
If you're not familiar with what that means, and ancient Israel, man, when people would be in a sorrowful state, they would rip their clothes up, put on sackcloth, and pour dirt on their head. He said, instead of rending your clothes, he said, how about you rend your inward man? Tell them what rend means, man. Dwayne Jamal. I see you, boy.
That's kara, to tear in pieces.
That's right, huh? Tear your heart up. You know what happens when you tear your heart up? You leave space to make you a new one. That's what people more problem is. You don't got a new inward man, and you don't got a new spirit. You the same raggedy nigga. You know what you did? You tried to put new wine and old bottles. You know what I'm saying? You didn't fully convert. You didn't fully shoe. You just made some alterations, if you would. You know what I'm saying? And that's not going to be sufficient. Not for eternal life. Absolutely not. Come on, sir. Rend your heart.
And not your garment.
And turn unto Yahuwah.
Your Elohim.
For he's what, said it?
Gracious and merciful.
He's what?
Gracious and merciful.
What else is it?
Slow to anger.
And of what?
Great kindness.
And of what?
Repent him of the evil.
Then we just talked about it last night. These niggas tell you that's some New Testament stuff. The man been told you he like this. He been told you that. He told you that in Jeremiah 3. He said, man, I'll repent of the evil. Just come unto me, man. Stop the nonsense. See, people don't want to stop the nonsense. You know why, Civic? Because they don't believe the word. Come on back to Isaiah 58. But the report I'm focusing on, right? When you look at the fast that with the fasting as forth as the Day of Atonement, how Mashiach pulled that off, that's why his voice was able to be heard on high. Because he was focused. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to fast, you fasting so your voice can be heard. You know what I'm saying? Are you fasting, like he said in Matthew, so you can be seen of men, or are you fasting so your voice can be heard? Are you fasting so he can loose the bands of wickedness and break the heavy burdens? That's the point. These niggas like being in jail. You ever seen a nigga like going to jail? I've been in prison with niggas who like being in there. And I ain't talking about on no homo stuff. I'm talking about they just like being accosted. They like being in bondage. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got to look at living a life of sin. It's the same way. You like the prison that you've created for yourself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to be free because they don't know what to do with the freedom. It's comfortable in there. I ain't got to make no decisions. The sin make it for me. You know what I'm saying? Man, you got to let God make it for you. You know what I'm talking about? It's easier that way. I told y'all, man, right before I came home, because what they said, this is going to be year 16, right? Dude said, yeah, man, you're going to get out. You're going to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You're going to do this. I say, nigga, you lying to me. But I said, I did these 5, boy. I ain't never get comfortable in here, cuz. I was just in here. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, I didn't get up because I wanted to get up. I get up because they ran a damn bell every morning. These niggas on the goddamn loud horn talking about child time, all this other stuff, nigga. Or you ain't gonna, I don't want to be here. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what? My first day home, I got up when I felt like getting up. Now, I gotta get up, it's count time. Hell wrong with you, cuz? You like being in here with dudes. Now, truth be told, and this can happen, I told you this here, right? The military ain't no different. The military and prison is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Only difference is in the military, you got a tad bit more freedoms than somebody in prison if you living on that base. You know what I'm saying? But it's damn near the same. Because they come home and do the same things and have to break that habit. But that's at least you got paid. You know what I'm saying? At least you got paid. You ain't getting paid for being in here, man. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, the military is the same. Like every prison almost, especially FDOC, is set up to give you a foot locker. They give you the, Eric say job corps the same way. They give you the bunk beds. It's for the purpose of institutionalization. You know what I'm saying? For uniformity of what you got going on. It's really just for you to be disciplined to their system. Because they don't want nobody moving out of step. We want everybody walking the same, thinking the same, moving the same, everything. You know what I'm talking about?
It's repetitive every day.
Every day, same thing, same time, same stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's based off of that. It's the same thing. That's why I actually told the dude, he was like, you ain't know you ain't want to go to prison. I said, man, I knew I ain't want to go to prison. That's why I ain't joined the military. I already knew before I went to prison that the prison and the military was the same thing. I ain't want nothing to do with either. You know what I'm talking about? I didn't need to go to prison to know I didn't want to be there. And I'm telling you that you don't need to go to hell to know you don't want to be there either. You want to know a good way you don't want to go to hell? Fly yourself out there to California and get close to a wildfire. I guarantee you're going to figure out real quick like the hell is not where you want to be. Hell, shoot, put enough charcoals on your grill. You know what I'm saying?
Make it back.
Barry said, I ain't gonna lie. When I realized they were the same, I cried. Yeah, they definitely the same, bro. I'll say you get a tad bit more freedoms. Say the bed the same, the hospital, everything. And they do the same thing with these schools. These schools are built like prisons. It's all for the purpose of uniformity. You know what I'm saying?
You need to follow some sort of structure.
Some type of structure. The structure of the society that you live in. No independent thinking and follow orders. That's it.
That's what make it easy for people to get institutionalized. You've been doing the same thing every day for 10, 15 years.
Listen, man, and I said this when I was in prison, man, you got to have a strong mind not to get institutionalized. Whether it's in prison, whether it's in the military, you got to have a strong mind. You have to have the ability to compartmentalize that I'm doing this because this is what the environment dictates I do, but this is not how I think personally. And most people don't have that ability to do that. Like, straight up and down. Like I said, like what we were talking about last night, man, you have to understand that everybody don't have the strength to do everything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does not respond to stimuli the same way. You know what I'm saying? And too many people don't do that. And that's why I'm not going to say that. That's why I hate these niggas. I say that's why I don't like none of these niggas, man. Because they don't really genuinely care about nobody. You know what I'm saying? Say DMX album, Dog Hell is Hot. That's in itself was enough for me. Who you telling? He said it's dark. Hey, man, he told you to be out of darkness and weeping and gnashing of teeth. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's definitely dark and it's definitely going to be hot. You know, let me ask y'all this question. Why is it out of darkness? Because you're away from the light of Yahuwah. Because Elohim is light and no part darkness. And if you in hell, guess who ain't there? Yahuwah ain't there. So why would there be light there?
Number 5.
Nothing but death. The second death. The death you don't want. You know what I'm saying? Where we at with it, sir? We good in Joel. Let's come back to Isaiah 15. Read me verse 3 again.
Say, wherefore have we fasted, say they, and you see not. Wherefore have we afflicted our souls, and you take no knowledge. Behold, in the day of your fast you find pleasure, and exact all your labor.
He said, the day of your fast you find what?
Pleasure.
And exact
all your labor.
Is it such a fast? I'm sorry. Behold, you fast
for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness.
You shall not fast as you do this day.
To make your voice to be heard on high.
That's what you see all day long. Everybody around here with strife and debate, contention. Let me tell you something, man. To be honest with you, contention is not a Yahuwah. Sometimes you have to contend for the faith, but continual contention, you have to walk away. Remember what it said in Acts 19 when Paul it said the people started blaspheming another way. What Paul did? He slid. All right, bet. I'm not going to sit here and go through this with you. You know what I'm saying? Go to hell then. It's basically what sometimes you have to You have to maintain your peace and remove yourself. Man, I told you there plenty of time, man, you do not have to accept every invitation that to a party that someone offers you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to let people stay in their folly. Remember, he say, what did he say? You know the one I'm talking about in Proverbs, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't speak a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise. Sometimes you got to be quiet. Sometimes you got to check him. You got to have the wisdom to know the difference. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, though, you just got to be quiet and let them people just drown. You know what I'm saying? Like when we were talking to George, when George said you got to be if you over a certain age, you can you know what I'm saying, make you some sweet potato pie. I'll never talk to that man again about that there, man. I said what I had to say to that nigga, I'm gone. Because I already know you, I already know you who done gave you this mind. You determined to go this way. Remember when you read about what Asa and Amasa and the prophet came and checked him, and he said, who you is to say something to me? And he said, you know what? I see you who is determined to kill you. And he left him alone. Sometimes when you give somebody a rebuke or some proper information, you can tell by their response if it's best for you to just leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Because their response may let you know what? I see God determined to bust you upside your head. Let me go ahead and leave you where you at. Because who can make straight what Elohim has made crooked? Not a soul. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all already know how I am. Well, I'm not on that. I'm not going back and forth with you, nigga. Man, bump. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going through that with you. Yeah, I'm not going through that with you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about no doctrines either. I'm talking about your conduct. You understand what I'm telling you? Because I know some people like to, joust. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not busting your balls about that. I'm talking about your behavior. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't going back and forth with you about your behavior. That's what you want to do? You do that. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got time for that. Life too short to be around here stressing about hard-headed people, man. You know what I'm saying? You better give yourself a stroke out here fooling with these people. Go ahead, man.
Is it such a fast that I have chosen? A day for a man to afflict his soul?
Oh, the Day of Atonement is the day that he has chosen for a man to do what?
Afflict his soul.
Go back and read me Matthew 26:1. Look what the Lord say. This is the day he done chosen for a man to what? Afflict his soul. The Lord finna tell you.
And it came to pass when Yahushua finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, you know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover. Mm-hmm. The Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Mm. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes.
He betrayed to be what?
Crucified.
My God, today. It sounds like this is the day that this man is chosen for a man to afflict his soul. And what it say? Mm-hmm. Come back and tell him what afflict say over there, man. You know what was funny, man? When we were talking about, because Hurricane, I had mentioned that what you asked me about a while back. About, husbands dwell with your wives according to ours. I went on the channel like the next day and it was right on there. Right in the thing when you, like if you go on the phone and hit the search tab, it'll have a number of videos under the bottom. It was right there with the second one. I said, look at the Lord. I forgot who I sent it to. But it definitely popped right on up, right after I mentioned it. I had mentioned it the other day that I was going to have to redo it, to do it again. We've done it like 2-3 times before. You know what I'm saying? But one of the older ones, because it was part 2. I couldn't find, I didn't look for part 1, but part 2 was on. I put it somewhere. I can't remember where I put it. I don't know if I put it in the group chat or what. I put it somewhere. Yeah, y'all willing probably when we get done with what we dealing with now, Hurricane, I'll probably double back around there to it. Because I had told him this here for 2000 quote unquote 25, and Yahuwah's New Year in a couple months. The idea for this year, because usually when the year roll around, we usually have a theme that we focus on. You know what I'm saying? In general, it may not necessarily be like hardcore stick to it every single solitary time, but it was to rehash things that we done went over years back, and it's been a while since we done did it. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of them. That's why I mentioned. I think that was last week that I mentioned that. Like, yeah, we got to go back and do that because it's probably been 7 years since like we really did it. Like around that time period, we did it a couple times, like in close proximity. But yeah, it's probably been about 7 years since it's been like locked in, single solitary focus on that particular passage. You know what I'm saying? We've discussed it, but we did a deep dive in a long time. So yeah, that's probably coming around the corner, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? You have to. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a really easy conversation to have. You know, dwelling with your wife according to knowledge is dwelling with your wife according to how Yahuwah dwell with his wife. And if dudes have his character, then it should be an easy thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely. Because when we did it, that's when everybody was like really kind of freshly married and things like that there. You know what I'm saying? But I have to take into account that it's newer people who ain't heard it. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I have to remind myself of that. A lot of people who done been in here, they've been in here a long time. So, but we have to take as new people coming in. And as I said before, in the past, we would just tell people, and when I say the past, it's 10 years ago, go on the channel and look at the videos because it wasn't that many. Now it's about 2,000 videos on there. That's absolutely impossible. It's not even a tangible request to tell somebody to go watch an old video. It's no way. So that's what we aim to do in 2025 is revisit things that we haven't talked about in a good little while. So come on, Sivit. Read me verse.
Afflict is anah.
That's right. Same word. Afflict, humble, oppressed. So this is the day that he have chosen to humble himself. A man to humble himself. Go ahead and start it again from the top. Isaiah 58:5.
This is such a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul,
To bow down his head,
as a bulrush,
to spread sackcloth.
and ashes under him,
Will you call this a fast?
an acceptable day to Yahuwah.
Tell him what acceptable is, man. He gonna say, man, you think all that fast, that strife and debate you doing, you think this a fast I'm gonna accept?
It's rason, pleasure, delight.
Pleasure. You think he take delight in this? You think he take pleasure in that? He don't. Come on, verse 6. Is this not the fast?
That I have chosen
To loose,
the bands of wickedness,
to undo,
the heavy burden,
and to let,
the oppressed go free,
and the break.
every yoke.
Go ahead and get in Matthew 11:28. You know what it is. This, pause, before we even do that. We mentioned it last night. Daniel 9:24. Let's do that first. Daniel 9:24 is saying the same thing Isaiah is saying. This is saying the same thing that 1 John 3:9 saying. He that is born of Elohim do not, matter of fact, what 1 John 3:8 say, he that commits sin is of the devil. But that part we're not focusing on. He said, for this cause was the son of Elohim manifested that he might destroy the works of the devil. So the son of God was manifested to destroy you from you being in bondage to the fear of the bondage of death that the devil had power on that Hebrews talk about. You know what I'm saying? You was in bondage to that. Ecclesiastes tell you who can get the victory and the discharge in that battle. You can't win it. You can't beat death. So God did it for you. You know what I'm talking about? You know why? Because he's your what? Kinsman redeemer. Showing up on Jubilee in the year of release. That's why he was on that cross crying aloud and sparing not and lifting up his voice like a trumpet. But they think that's about screaming and hollering about a nigga in the street. You big dummy. You know what I'm talking about? You missed the whole play. You missed the whole play. The debt was cleared. Because he's telling you about how this man coming. Man, you don't see that this is a day that I chose for a man to humble himself? And don't you notice that the day that he chose to humble himself, he ain't come with no strife or contention. Where was he smiting with the fist of wickedness in that day? He said, Abba, forgive them. They don't know what they do. When they slapped him around, he ain't say nothing to them people. When they threatened him, he ain't say nothing to them people. When he say, are you a king? He say, man, for this cause was I born. Everyone that's of the truth, do what, Sarah? He don't know. John 18:36. Let me help him out. He moving slow. Doris got him weighed down. She gave him an extra pancake. You made pancakes this morning?
She did.
Is that because you like pancakes or it was just pancakes' turn? No, I didn't say he. I said you. Do he like pancakes or do you like feeding him pancakes? So you like feeding him pancakes. You could be honest and don't try to make that man like pancakes. He might like French toast. You like pancakes?
Yeah, but she it's probably because she's been making waffles for the past couple of weeks. So she's probably trying to switch it up.
Switch it up.
That's all you had to say.
She trying to put some weight on him. You know what I'm talking about?
Damn.
Give him some carbohydrates. Give him some carbs. You know what I'm saying? She say you got to be strong. You going out there, you got to be full and hardy. You know, she from New York. It's cold outside too. That's where the people live when your mama them when you live in the cold. You gotta be full. You need something on your stomach, baby. Stick to you. It's cold outside. I him say, "Do you like pancakes?" She like pancakes and waffles. That's what they like to eat. I just eat what's on the plate. So you the same way, huh?
He asked me, what do you want? Let me cook.
We already know. Y'all remember Johnny in the beginning. They like to say, Mikey, he likes it. Johnny finna eat everything. He don't give a damn. It's on the plate. He won't be late. Oh, man. Chicken and waffles? Absolutely not. I don't want no chicken with no waffles. Hell no. You know what I'm talking about?
Metro Diner.
Ain't nothing wrong with Metro Diner now. Now, breakfast sandwich, Deep made some breakfast sandwiches. Breakfast sandwich cool, but I don't want fried chicken in a waffle.
You gotta be fried.
I don't never look at man. No. No. But if I made chicken breast, I don't want no waffle. Might well throw him on an English muffin and call it a day.
Chicken biscuit.
It is. It is. It's definitely not the same. No, because I want my waffle with syrup on it. I'm not putting no syrup on no biscuit with no chicken on it. I said I'm not. I didn't say you not. I didn't say y'all weren't. I said I'm not. I don't put no honey on no biscuit.
Oh, that bitch dry.
You want jam on it?
I don't put nothing on it.
Right, that's a dry biscuit.
No.
Syrup, honey, or jam.
Not for no sandwich. Man, if I'm gonna eat a biscuit, then I'm gonna put jelly on it. Ain't not gonna be in between. I don't want chicken and jelly.
Sweet and savory.
Hell no. That nigga said that's a big back conversation. He said, honey, I go for that. She say jelly don't go on savory meats. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Mika. That's not my thing.
Glazed chicken, like that's a little syrup.
Nah.
Glazed.
He got saved. He got his father's Vincent. He want to put jelly on it.
No, you were saying no syrup. You know no syrup.
Nah. Yeah, if it's just the biscuit.
Okay, that's all. I just wanted to make sure.
Chicken biscuits with hot honey. Oh, that's too much for me. I don't want nothing hot. Do no spicy food. You like it spicy?
Chicken biscuit with hot honey.
She like it spicy. Come on. That's too much for me.
That's in me right there, but
No. I mean, regular biscuit. You already know, man. Put some jelly on that hoe. If it's a chicken patty in between, no. Come on with it, man. That's just me, though, man. You eat what you like and shoot. It ain't my stunt. It ain't shoot. That's your stunt.
Yeah, I was trying to answer. My kingdom is not of this world.
My kingdom is not a what?
Of this world.
What it is?
My kingdom were of this world, then when my servants
My
fight,
servants will fight.
that I should not be delivered to the Yahudim.
Listen.
But that was my kingdom, not from here.
Come on.
Pilate therefore said unto him, are you a king then?
He said, thou have said.
You say that I am a king. To this end was I born.
To this end was I what?
Born.
And for this cause
came I into the world.
What's that?
That I should bear witness unto the truth.
That I should bear witness unto the what?
To the truth.
Everyone.
That is of the truth. Hear my voice.
See, everybody don't hear this, man, because they're not of the truth. I don't know why people don't understand that. And the book tell you Elohim the truth. Everybody not going to hear this, man, because everybody's not of God. That's a hard reality, man. I used to tell Marie this all the time when she was dealing with this dude. The dude dead now. Because he like to put his hands on women. He put his hands on the wrong woman and she stabbed him to death. You know what I'm talking about? But she wanted him to be in the word so bad. And I said, did you ever consider God don't want him? And she was like, don't say that. I said, let me tell you something, man. He said, my sheep hear my voice. He said, you hear it not because you're not of my flock, as I said to you. I said, if the Lord said it, man, that's just a reality that sometimes you're going to have to accept that everybody, he don't want them. And you know why he don't want them? Because they don't want him. I told y'all this the other day. One thing about the Lord ain't even gonna beg nobody to want him who don't want him. So why are you? If you say you the sons and daughters of the living God, why are you begging people who telling you or showing you that they don't want you for you to want them? Let them people go on about their business and take that L. Don't compromise your self-esteem and your self-respect to try to want somebody who don't want you. You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense, man. Hey, that's gonna bring you more misery than it is joy. I can tell you that. Come on, Sid.
Go with that.
Get her. You back to Isaiah 58.
Oh, who's holding Matthew 11 and 28?
Oh yeah, Matthew 11 and 28. Ruth A. Sit it on down. Don't try to look at me like that.
Say, come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden.
And what?
And are heavy laden.
What else?
And I will give you rest.
Give you what?
Give you rest.
What else?
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me.
Learn of me, baby.
For I am meek and lowly in heart. You shall find rest unto your soul.
You find rest unto your what?
To your soul.
To your what?
To your soul.
He said, learn of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. Tell them what learn mean now, man.
Manthano, to learn, to be apprised, to increase one's knowledge, to increase in knowledge, to be informed.
To be informed. Well, how do you become informed of this man?
Or understand.
To understand. Numbers 21 and 10. Come on. That's what the young lady asked me today. She said, well, what is it that y'all teach? She said, do you teach the 12 tribes? I said, man, if I was to come in front of these people and teach them about some 12 tribes, these people going to get up and go home. Don't nobody want to hear that.
My yoke is easy, my burden is light.
Come on, tell me what number 21 and 10 say.
And the children of Yasharal set forward and pitched in Obath, and they journeyed from Obath and pitched at Jebarim in the wilderness, which is before Moab, toward the sunrising. From thence they removed and pitched in the valley of Zered.
Listen.
From thence they removed and pitched on the other side of Arnon, which is in the wilderness that come out of the coast of the Amorites.
Come on.
For Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites.
Go ahead.
Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of Yahuwah, what he did in the Red Sea and in the brooks of Arnon.
Come on.
And at the stream of the brooks that go down to the dwelling of Ar, and lie upon the border of Moab. From thence they went to Beer. That is the well whereof Yahuwah spake unto Moses. Gather the people together, and I will give them water.
Go ahead.
And Yasharal sang this song.
What song they sang?
Spring up, oh well.
Spring up, oh what?
Oh well.
Now pause. If it's a song, what that mean? This is a prophecy. He's singing a song. There's a parable in this song. Go ahead.
Sing you unto it. The princes digged the well. The nobles of the people digged it by the direction of the lawgiver with their staves. And from the wilderness.
Pause. He said the princes did what to the well?
They digged it.
By the direction of the who?
Lawgiver.
Tell them what dig mean, man. What does this mean?
The first one is kafar, to dig, to search for, to search out, to explore.
To search out. They searching out for a well by the direction of the lawgiver. What's the lawgiver again, man? Just in case somebody forgot.
To cut out, to decree.
It's the same lawgiver, same word used in Isaiah 33 and 22, and Genesis 49. So what are they searching out? Remember, this is search the script. You're supposed to be searching out the witness of the Son of God so that by the knowledge of his righteous servant, you might be justified. Come on back to Isaiah 58. Oh, I'm sorry, Matthew 11 and 28 again. Close that book. Close that. Pay attention. This ain't time for that. Close that book. Do it on your own time, not on my time.
Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you.
Tell them what heavy laden is, man. You can tell them what burden is, too.
That's for Tidzo, to place a burden upon, to load.
Carrying a load. Y'all know what he said about carrying loads? Do y'all recall? It's in the book of Isaiah. Come over here to Isaiah 46, I believe. And this will go into what we were talking about last night also. Isaiah 46 and 1. 46 and 3. Let's get straight to the point. I don't care about no Baal and Nebo. Isaiah 46 and 3. Listen what he says.
Hearken unto me, O
Do
house
what?
of Jacob. Hearken unto me.
Do what?
Hearken unto me,
O house
of Jacob,
and the remnant of the house,
of Yasharal,
which are born
by me from the belly,
which are carried
from the womb.
Pause. This twofold thing. Obviously, you born in the belly by your mother, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But then we talk about the aspect of Mashiach giving birth. You know what I'm talking about? That you were born by the belly and carried in the womb by me. Now listen to what he say. Even to your what?
Old age.
Even to your what?
Old age.
I am what?
He.
Even to the whore hairs.
Will I carry you?
Will I what?
Will I carry you?
I have made.
And I will bear.
I have made.
And I will bear.
And I will
carry.
And I will
deliver you.
Now, Paul, listen to what he just told you. That's representative of why you see Samson carrying them two pillars on his shoulder. Why you read about Ezekiel carrying them burdens for removing in Ezekiel 12, to why you see Mashiach carrying that stake. And then you see Simon Cyrene helping him carry it, because that's the aspect of helping your brother when he in a weak state carry his burden. See, he's showing you something. So whether it's anxiety, whether it's PTSD, whether it's some type of trauma of any sort, this man said, from your old age, I will carry you. Read them bare in verse 4. That means whatever you got going on, he'll carry it, but you have to be willing to go to him and say, here, take this from him. Because he want to take it. He don't care. He was made to carry burdens. He was made to carry heavy loads.
That's from the salt, to lift, to bear up, to carry.
To lift and to bury up, I mean, to take.
To support.
To give support. That's why you see Simon the Cyrene carrying that burden. Even the Lord needed support. If the Lord himself, remember when he said, I'm your Lord, you call me your Lord and Master, and you say right. He said, if your Lord and Master have washed your feet, he said, you ought to do what? Wash one another's feet. Showing you, again, he's showing you the hallmarks of what leadership is. He said, I'm not above serving you, the same way that I'm not above being in a weak state, and I need my brother to carry me. You know what I'm talking about? He's showing you from nuance of example through conduct what that is. And then also showing that, hey, I'll take these burdens. That stake that he carrying, that tree, that cross, what anybody want to say, it's representative of the burdens of every individual who has ever lived, that I'll carry that for you. That burden of that sin, that burden of death, the burden of pain, the burden of sorrow, I will carry all of it. Just come unto me. That's what he's telling you. But see, when people read that Isaiah 46, they miss that. I'm going to read it again. Verse 3, Isaiah 46 and 3. Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Yasharal, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb. Even to your old age, I am he. Even to the hoar hairs will I carry you. I have made, and I will bear. Even I will carry and deliver you. That man say, from the day you came out the womb to the day you old and gray-headed, I'm going to carry you. You know why? You know why that's the case? Most of y'all ain't got to that point yet. You know why? Because your children are young. You know what I'm talking about? But when your children get old, you don't stop being a father or a mother because your child 30, 40 years old. That's going to be your baby to the day, from the day you had him to the day he old-headed and gray. That never changes. Now, guess what? Sometimes the roles may get reversed. Look here, man. Y'all know that there, man. My mom like this here, man. Hey, that's my son. But the role reverse, hey, now I direct and guide you. Ain't that what Paul said? Do we not be able to lead a mother or a sister or a wife? Because that's what the lady asked me. Do you? She said something about, would you cuss your daddy out if he didn't believe as you believe? I'm like, nigga, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get in the word and you feel like, because Christianity is false and you quote unquote in the truth, and that give you license to cuss your parents out, you was a whole nigga. And you wicked as hell. But as Mother Sharona said, at any of y'all, because I know Mama Steph and Mother Sharona know, because they have grown kids. You don't stop being a mother because I carried you when you was a baby, and I'm going to be your mama till you 75 years old. If I'm still, you could be 75 and I could be 101, and you still my baby. I carry you, even if I had to carry you while I'm walking on a walk. You will operate the same way.
Would you use this also as like him being male and female, like giving birth?
Well, you know, he took on that aspect. You know, remember that one there. You know, male and female created to eat them. And, you know, the aspect of him giving birth is to be able to be a aid, a help, and a relief to women when they're in childbirth. So that, remember when he said, you know, it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a faithful and merciful high priest. So the aspect of giving birth, that's how the woman is saved in childbirth, because he was saved in childbirth. How can he save the woman in childbirth if he don't know what it's like? That's how real your God is. You know what I'm saying? But these dudes not going to tell you that. Maybe they're not going to tell you that because they don't understand that. But he experienced childbirth just the same, so he could be able to be with that woman in childbirth, to be that comfort. For his women, I should say. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say for sinner women, but for those who come under him, oh yeah, he's going to be there. Because he said they'll be saved in childbirth. That's what he said. That's what Paul said anyway. But yeah, it's the same deal, man. If you love your children, it doesn't matter how old they get. You're going to carry them as long as you're alive. That don't change. That's what he's telling you. So you come holler at me, I got you. I'm going to carry you like I carried you when you was a baby. I'll carry you as an adult. He said, don't make him no never mind. That's right. Like Rachel dying, giving birth to Benjamin. And, you know, that was for a reason. That's a whole nother conversation. But we'll talk about that. We ain't talked about that in a while. Might have to spin that corner. You know what I'm saying? But come on back to Matthew 11:28. You know, we thank you for it. We done put a lot of dope out here on these streets over the years. This year, 13.
Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
So if you burdened, you're heavy laden, he'll give you rest. What do he want you to do?
Take my yoke upon you.
Take my what?
Take my yoke upon you.
Tell them what yoke means. You like egg yolks? Doors, you like egg yolks, or you just like the whites?
A yoke, metaphorically used of any burden or bondage.
Now he wants you to be in bondage to him. He wants you to be in bondage to him. Remember what he said, oh, prisoners of hope, I'll give you what? You know what he said again? He said, oh, prisoners of hope, I'll give you what? Zechariah 9 and 10. No, I just hit it because we got to crank it up a notch. Make sure we get there. Isaiah 58 still got a whole lot of other verses in it.
And I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off. He shall speak shalom unto the heathen.
He'll speak shalom unto the who?
The heathen.
Why these niggas be telling y'all this here in the book, clearly saying he gonna be? What does it mean to speak peace unto the heathen? Bro, you know, I heard a man tell us, man, that if he found out he wasn't an Israelite, that he would literally fight against God because he would just accept his fate. This nigga got to be the stupidest nigga I ever heard in my life. This nigga like this here, you say you'll fight, so you ain't an Israelite. That means you'll fight God now, stupid nigga. Oh, you ain't hearing when he said that, did you, mama? He said that right before you kicked him out the other day. You said it right before you kicked him out. When he was coming for Oz, and he said, you know what, Stone is right. You is wicked. He asked him, because Rodney asked him that. He asked him, man, if you weren't an Israelite, what would you do? He said, man, I'm going to just go ahead and accept because Rodney can't ask him, so you telling us you'll fight God? I'm going to just accept my fate. Well, that means he'll fight God right now. The man say the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. So the only thing that'll stop you from fighting God is if you an Israelite or not. Well, you'll fight him now. You'll fight him now. Well, I would never open my mouth and say I fight God, boy. And I'm talking about and I'm supposed to have knowledge of the word. That is insane, bro. Ain't nobody finna. How he gonna fight Adam, the son of God? The first son of God, you gonna fight him. You gonna fight your way straight to hell, man. You ain't got to worry about, you know what? You ain't got to worry about being there because you ain't got the mind to be there.
That's your mindset.
Yeah, that nigga retarded. Come on, man.
He said, and his dominion shall be from sea even to sea, and from the river even to the ends of the earth. And as for you, by the blood of your covenant, I have sent forth your prisoners.
I sent forth your who?
Your prisoners.
He said, by the blood of your what?
Covenant.
I sent forth your who?
Prisoners.
Out of
the pit
where there was
no water.
Oh, prisoners
Turn you to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope.
And you shall get what?
Even today do I declare I will render double unto you.
You see how he called you a prisoner of hope? That's why he's telling you take that yoke upon him. Go ahead and be a prisoner of hope. Tell him what prisoner and hope is, man.
Prisoners is a seer, a prisoner, a captive, a bondman.
A bondman. What them boys say, man? We prisoners to the Lord.
And hope is tikvah.
Expectation. We bondmen to Mashiach. You say we fools for a Mashiach's sake. Ain't that what Paul told him? Come on back to Matthew 11.
Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart. You shall find rest unto your soul.
if you become his prisoner and you learn of him, you will learn that he was meek and lowly in heart, a humble man.
For my yoke is easy
and my burden is what?
Is light.
So to be his prisoner is an easy thing.
The burden is 40 on a burden, a load.
Easy load that when you serve the Lord, he don't give you nothing hard to carry.
It's hard.
He said his burden, not your life. That's what he said. He said he ain't gonna give you no heavy load. He ain't tell you life wasn't. He said in the world you're gonna have tribulation. You know what I'm talking about? Be a good cheer. I've overcome the world. But listen though, all jokes aside, people don't explain that type of stuff to people. They just tell them his burden is light, so they think everything gonna be smooth. You know what I'm saying? They don't explain that his burden is light. Now, life, that's separate from him. That's a whole nother deal. You know what I'm talking about?
Task or service.
Yeah. Notice what he said, task or service. His service is life. Anyway, that's why he say, the Lord, you supposed to bail me out my bad decisions. He said, I can't bail you out of this, son. You got to wear that. Hey, man, just like a father do with his son. Son, I love to save you. You need to learn. I told you this here. People ain't hit it, but every man needs a struggle. He got to know what that's like. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it's got to be no, you know what I'm saying, no deep, hardcore financial struggle. Every man needs a struggle so he can see what his intestinal fortitude look like. See what he made out of. See, do he have the ability to if he got knocked down, to get up before the 10 count? You know what I'm saying? If a nigga punch him in his mouth, will he swing back? Every man need that. A nigga who's coddled and hold his hand, man, the minute life get too hard, boy, he gonna put a bullet in his brain. Or he gonna go get high. You know what I'm saying? He gonna participate in destructive behavior. He won't even, if he take a loss, he won't have the heart to fight back. Because he gonna be looking for something to save me. Nigga, ain't nobody coming to save you, cuz. Get your whole behind up, man, and stand up like a man, man. Stop sitting down to pee. You know what I'm saying? Which is another dope, man. Stop teaching your sons how to use the bathroom sitting down, man. Man, make sure you go in there, man. Don't let them put your son on the pot, man. He ain't no girl. Give him a step stool, let him stand over there and water that toilet, man. You know what I'm saying? Get it together. I don't need you sitting down. We don't tinkle here, boy. You gotta stand up like a man. You know what I'm saying? But all jokes aside, though, it's just the thought process. As a man, you never sit down, you stand up. And I ain't talking about on no toilet. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you live 10 toes on your feet, man. You'd rather die than live on your knees, son. If you had to go out like that, son, go ahead, you're going to get me out of here. That's why so many of these boys willing to compromise themselves. Ain't even about them sitting on the toilet. It's about what you're trying to impart to them in his mentality. We don't sit down over here, son. We stand up like men. So when you face certain things like a man, even if you get knocked down, you'll get up and stand up instead of sitting down and cowering. You know, like this here, man. Got my son sitting on the toilet like a girl with his feet cross swing.
I feel it, son.
I'm just messing around, man. Ain't you know what I'm saying? Because truth be told, it's gonna be your old lady training that boy, because you're gonna be out there doing stuff. You know what I'm talking about? She gonna do it the easiest route. I just need this nigga. We need to get this boy out of diapers.
They got a new thing though now. We got to stand up.
Do is walk to them. Not the stand up urinal. My God, today. I ain't even know that. Look at the Lord.
Making the way.
You know, man, when we went to doggone, I be forgetting that because I don't be going to the arena like that. But I'm like, why these people got all these urinals with no wall? You know what I'm talking about? You got 20 urinals in a row with no wall. What's up with that? I do not want to be that close to another man while he's urinating, man. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I'll wait for one of them toilets to open up before I do that with that.
Every gentleman know you supposed to give a nigga 1-star policy and there ain't no wall. You ain't supposed to skip a urinal.
Look at, man, ain't no 1-star policy when you at the Coliseum and there's 12, 14, 15,000 people in there. They on that bill too. They don't give a damn about no 1-star policy. On top, you don't care about that. Hey, man.
I'm gonna say eyes up, chest up.
Eyes up.
Don't look to the left, don't look to the right.
Yeah, they don't care about that. Especially not no white man. Man, y'all done been in that gym locker room. You know, them white men like to get in there, but bookie. Walk around like it's nothing.
Notion.
Like, sir, by all means, cover yourself. He was like this here. Hey, Jim, how you doing? Having a full conversation. Y'all are naked, sir.
They said it's a locker room, man.
Man, I don't want to talk to no beast. Put on a towel, brother.
Don't engage in conversation. No conversation with us.
You know what was funny, man? When I was on the road, dude had the CEO had been the he said, "You better get over it. We had to do it in the military. You don't do all this stuff. Yeah, there's 15 of them butt naked in the line having a conversation. Just do it." I said, "Man, you wow." But I know 9 times out of 10 they probably did though. Because I guarantee you, your commanding officer don't want to hear nothing about what you ain't comfortable with. No, what I'm talking about. Get your butt naked behind the line, nigga.
What he said, they shooting soldier, they shooting.
Oh my God, today. Come on, man. Verse 6, I said 58.
Sit down.
They said they shooting in here. Lord have mercy. Listen what he say.
Is not this the fast that I've chosen to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens,
And to let the who?
oppress go free?
We talked about that going free last night from John 8. And what?
That you break every yoke.
He said, is it not to deal your bread to the who?
To the hungry,
And to bring the who?
poor that are cast out to your house,
And when you see the naked
that you cover him
and you hide not yourself,
from your own flesh.
what y'all think this means right here, man? It's a lot of information contained right there in verse 7, man. I'm here to tell you. I'm gonna let y'all take a look at that, man. I want you to share with me your thoughts before we proceed. Huh? That boy was out there. He hot.
Isaiah 58, 6, 7.
Well, this man named Moogie. That joke was funny what they were going through with who the Jaguars just hired for their coach.
I think by Adam and them in the barn.
He said he got Adam on the mind. You know what's funny? Mama Steph Rodney was like, you know what the chapters that stumped me the most? He was like Genesis 1, 2, and 3.
Something hot.
No, he was saying that we were just having general conversation, and he was just talking about like chapters that he find difficult for him to decipher or get understanding from. And I was like, shoot, I can understand why he would say that, because I ain't gonna lie. At least with Genesis 2 and 3, shoot, them two are the strongest ones in there as far as understanding is concerned if you know what you're looking at. That's when your man Bar came in there and was like, yeah, man, I think Eve and Adam, Eve and the serpent did something. He was like, what, like having sex? When you read it in the Hebrew, I'm like, boy, I done looked at it in the Hebrew. I ain't see no hunching going on.
I think it make mine just
That nigga started making niggas despise.
I said, I don't see
but
no
they
hunching.
try to do that and say that about Cain's seed and all that.
Yeah, they do. But he said that he getting that from the language. I ain't never picked that up from the language with no hunching. Be perfect. Now he said to give your bread to the hungry. Ain't that what he said, Sibby? Give me Ecclesiastes 9 and 5. Well, 9 and 7. That's really what I need.
You drink, you can have it. I can't drink that.
Go your way, eat your bread with joy, drink your wine with a merry heart. For Elohim now accept your work.
He accepts your what?
Your work.
Now he said it's the day that he gave the bread to the hungry. Remember what he said? He said, I'm Yahuwah your Elohim, open your mouth wide and he'll do what? What in Matthew chapter 5, the Lord said, blessed are those who what? And thirst after what? And what they gonna be what? When Micaiah was locked up, man, what they gave him to eat? Of affliction. Let's be specific. So when he telling you he gonna deal the bread to the hungry, come over here to Matthew 26 and 28. You know what it is. Now, sometimes when no people don't be in battle mode, though, you just be wanting to hear their perspective on how they look at certain things. But when you look at Genesis 1 and 2 and 3, it's a lot in there. But it don't seem that way if you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah. First thing you know,
You know what I'm saying?
It just appears the story of creation.
You know what I'm saying? But not only that, especially chapter 3, it's Hamashiach's whole work in there. You know, it's the love of God to his wife. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot in there. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot in there testimony-wise that a lot of brothers ain't going to accept. Let's just go ahead and keep it real. Go ahead.
And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and broke it and break it and gave to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body.
Remember, he said, this is the fast that I've chosen to give your bread to the who?
To the hungry.
Tell them what hungry is in Isaiah 58. That's Joanne don't say hungry. She say, I'm hangry. Hangry. She ain't got the you down yet.
Ra'ab, hungry. A hungry man.
A hungry man. That's what you like to eat, them hungry man dinners, boy?
What's that? Anything?
He said, I got to draw the line somewhere. So you saying hungry man ain't quality?
You come on to a hungry man on the plate, but you might not even know the difference. You season that piece of meatloaf, bud, throw butter in that corn.
He gonna taste the microwave. You gonna say, hey, boy, go eat that. This gonna taste like stove. Boy, you eating Flanders, boy? Oh, I thought this boy say you eating Flanders.
She bring the Flanders and season it up.
Well, I don't think it's anything anybody can do with a Flanders burger to make that delectable.
I done said some Flanders. That's a little white. I said some Flanders. I served some Flanders, but niggas didn't know.
He said teeth made of steel, messing with Flanders.
Messing with them Flanders. Lord, that is. Come on, Sid. Now, what's the next thing? What do you think this means when he say to bring the poor to your house? Give him house by definition. I know y'all know it. It's just in case somebody don't.
That's on me. The poor, the afflicted.
No. House.
Bot.
So you know that's bot. And he said to bring the afflicted to his house. What you think that means? So don't worry. John 14 and 1 to help you out.
And let not your heart be troubled. You believe in Elohim, believe also in me. In Abba's house are many mansions.
There's many what?
Many mansions.
Tell them what mansions is. Hey, y'all sit down and be quiet.
Monet, a staying, and abiding, a dwelling, and abode.
An abode. There's many houses. Many bots in his father's house. Read it again.
In my Abba's house are many mansions. If not, I would have told you.
I would have told you.
I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, you may be also.
So listen, right? He said, is this not a fast I've chosen to bring the afflicted into your house? Then when you see the naked that you might cover him. Well, who's the naked? Well, you know, Adam was naked. What did he cover him with? That fine linen, clean and white. When he saw the naked, he covered him, did he not? So he's seen you naked in your trespasses and sins. What did he cover you with? Ruach HaKadosh. That's what he covered you with. This is what he's doing. This is an acceptable fast unto Yahuwah. Now, if you look at it on the natural sense, and y'all already know this, that means on atonement, hey man, if you go out, give food to people who are hungry, they fast every day. You fasting by choice. They not volunteering to do that. They naked all the time. Go give him some clothing. That's when you look at it on the natural side of things. But when you looking at it on the testimony side of things, well, that man told you, come into my house. You naked, I'll cover you. I'll cover your sins and transgressions. He said, and hide not yourself from what?
Your own flesh.
Didn't the book tell you that? He said you are Elohim that what? And then 1 Timothy 3:16, what we just read, Elohim was manifested in the what? It behooved him to be made like unto his who? Oh, so he ain't hide himself from his own. My God, today. Sloan 10K. He ain't hide himself. He went and showed himself right to his people. Tell him what hide means. Some niggas like to play hide and seek with their brain.
Hide is alarm. Conceal, hide, to be hidden, to be concealed, to be secret.
Give me John chapter 7, verse 1. Listen what it say right now. They over there eating double glizzy.
So after these things, Yahushua walked in Galilee, for he would not walk in Jewry, because the Yahudim sought to kill him. Now the Yahudim's feast of tabernacles was at hand. His brethren therefore said unto him, depart hence, go into Judea, that your disciples also may see the works that you do. For there is no man that do anything in secret.
Don't do anything in what?
In secret.
In what?
In secret.
Go ahead.
And he himself seeks to be known openly.
Open.
If you do these things, show yourself to the world. For neither his brethren believe in him.
You see, he said he didn't even hide himself from his own flesh. He let it be known. Verse 8, Isaiah 58. We might have time to get to some of these contradictions.
Then shall your light break forth as the morning,
And your health
shall spring forth speedily,
and your righteousness
shall go before you.
the glory
Of Yahuwah shall be your reward.
Pause. Let's sit back and look at this here, man. What's spring forth speedily?
Spring forth is samak, to sprout, spring up, to grow up.
Now listen, right? You look at all these things with an acceptable fast. He said, then will your light break forth as the morning. Remember, the earth was without void and darkness. And then he said, let there be what? Tell him what light is, man, the definition, if it's ore right there. So I want you to read all the definitions for light.
That's light of day, light of heavenly luminaries, moon, sun, and stars. That's daybreak, dawn, morning light, daylight, lightning, light of lamp, light of light, light of prosperity, light of instruction, light of faith. Yahuwah as Yasharal's light, bright, clear, day, light.
So when you say your light shall break forth as the morning, he talking about the light of the day. We'll take you back to that light that's in Isaiah 8:20, which is Shakar, which is the dawn. Which, of course, is when he rose from the dead. Tell him what health is there. Then he said, your health shall spring forth speedily.
Ruka, healing, restoration.
We talked about that because that was the word used for perfect in Kings. Now you say your restoration
Wholeness, perfection.
will come speedily. You were restored to the state that you was in the garden speedily. And your righteousness or what? The faith of the Son of God go before him. And now guess what? The esteem of Yahuwah, which is Yahusha, that is your reward. What is reward?
That is a soft, to gather, receive, to remove, to gather in, to collect. Yeah, pretty much to be gathered.
And the esteem of Yahuwah shall be your return, your gather. Verse 9, then you shall what?
Call,
and Yahuwah will what?
Shall answer.
And you shall cry.
And he shall say, here I am.
If you take away from you,
from the midst of you, the
yoke, putting forth of the finger.
And speaking vanity.
Pause. I'll tell you what. This man say the putting forth of the finger. What does that even mean? When you look at putting forth, that is shalak, shan, lamad, and kai. To send away, to stretch out, to be sent, to dismiss, to shoot forth, to give over, to cast out. Now you say to putting the fourth of the finger. What you think this means? And I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And of course, this is finger here. Etzba, Aleph, Sad, Ba, and Ayin. What you think that means to putting forth of the finger? Does it lie with us being changed in the twinkle of an eye? Yeah, to an extent. Now, when you look at vanity here, it is Avon, and that's trouble, sorrow, idolatry, trouble of iniquity. He said if you stop speaking wickedness. See, it ain't talking about you speaking nothing. They're talking about you speaking wickedness. You know what that putting forth of the finger is? Always accusing, always saying, trying to find out the sin on the next person while speaking wickedness yourself. Verse 10. And if you what?
Draw out your soul to the hungry.
And satisfy
the afflicted soul.
Shall your light
rise in obscurity.
And your darkness
be as the noonday.
What happened in the noonday with the Lord? I guess you know. Darkness here is Aphelah. That's darkness, gloomness, or calamity. Aleph, Pei, Lamad, and Hay. But he said that your light would rise in obscurity. Obscurity is koshet. That's a secret place. Darkness, obscurity. Now, let's take a look at that and go a step further. He said, if you draw out your soul to the hungry, which Yahusha did, correct? Mm-hmm. And you satisfy the afflicted soul, which he did, correct? He said, your light will rise up out of wickedness. What happened in the beginning? Read it for him, Civic. 1 and 1. Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, Elohim created Shamahim in the earth. The earth was without form and void.
Without what?
Form and void.
Tell him what void is, man. And form. What's up, cuz?
Formless. So who? Formlessness, confusion, unreality, emptiness.
Emptiness and confusion. Listen.
And void is who? Emptiness, void, waste.
Waste, confusion, and nothingness.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the rock of Elohim moved upon the face
now,
of
you know the face of the deep is what? The grave. Go ahead.
And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light.
He said, let there be what?
Let there be light.
And there was
light.
Tell him what light is, man. It's Ore. You ain't got to tell him. And that's the light of life. And that's why when you read in John chapter 1, it said, in him was light, and the life was the light of men. You know why we can say that? To go to Isaiah chapter 9, and get me verse 1, and listen what it says.
Nevertheless, the dimness shall not be as was in her vexation, when at the first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan and Galilee of the nations. Mm-hmm. The people that walk in darkness have seen a great light.
People that walk in what?
Darkness have seen a great light.
Oh my God!
They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them hath the light shine.
Don't you realize that the earth was in the shadow of death and then the light shined? See, individuals will talk about how that light is Yahusha, but they really go about it in a very, very terrible fashion majority of the time. When I say that, meaning being very general. That light is representative of Yahusha because he is the light of life. Without him, you have no life. And without him, you have no life. Now, individuals who don't believe in that, that's unfortunate for them. Because the life that is in the Father is in the Son, and to whomsoever the Son will render it to. Some people turn that down, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, when you look at in the beginning, it was death. See, a lot of people wanted to be, if it was light first, that means you had life, then death, and then life. That's not what happened. Remember everything he said the testimony of Yahusha is the Ruach of prophecy. So that means that the things, and he told you the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end. So that means things are going to line up with his suffering and his sacrifice. That's why he made it go dark when he was on the tree. When he was on the tree, it was dark. You know what I'm talking about? Then it went away and it was light again. Showing you that same thing in the beginning. When he come back, he gonna make it gonna be dark. He tell you that in Zechariah. Y'all already know that. Read it for him, 14 and 6. He gonna recreate creation.
it shall come to pass in that day, the light shall not be clear nor dark.
The light shall not be what?
Clear nor dark.
Mm-hmm.
But it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahuwah,
Mm-hmm.
not day nor night.
But at evening time,
shall come to pass at evening time it shall be light.
At evening time it shall be
light.
He gonna do the same thing when why you think he making it go dark? Because it's death in the earth and he bringing life. This is how you know that this is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of heaven and earth. Yahuwah of hosts is his name. This is how you know this. You know what I'm talking about? So he's showing you how he brought life from death. He's showing you the plan. Come on back to Isaiah 58. That's why he say your light will rise up out of obscurity, out of dark, because the man was dead and his light rose. Then it said, in your darkness as the noonday. Tell him what darkness is right now, man. You can tell him noonday too.
Darkness is Afalon, darkness, gloominess, calamity.
Calamity, destruction.
Misfortune, concrete concealment, darkness, gloominess.
Destruction, calamity, and destruction.
Noonday is Sahar, noon or midday.
Midday, and it went dark about what hour? Right at noon. And where was he at? It went dark from the 6th hour to the 9th hour. He was on that stake from 12 to 3. They took him down because, see, they moved differently back then than we do now. Because basically at 6 o'clock, the day was over. You know what I'm talking about? They would consider that day was over. They went from 6 to 6. You know what I'm saying? From the 1st hour to the 12th hour. That's why I say, they're not 12 hours in a day. But these niggas don't know that from a historical standpoint or even a scriptural standpoint to know why he said that. They make it a whole thing. See, it's not the night portion. No, stupid. They had a sundial. The 6 o'clock in the morning was the 1st hour of the day. You know what I'm talking about? So when it was 9 o'clock in the morning, guess what that was? The 3rd hour of the day. That's why when you see from the 6th hour to the 9th hour, what that's telling you is noon. Now it's 3 o'clock. When 6 come, guess what that means? The day is over. They went from 6 to 6. You know what I'm saying? Everything they wanted to do, they did it from 6 to 6. Once 6 p.m., quote unquote, hit, it was over with. Day over. You know what I'm talking about? We going to the house. Straight up. Look, read it again for him, man. What it is? Matthew 27:46. Not even just sunrise to sundown 10K, literally 6 to 6. That was considered a day for them. 6 to 6. You know what I'm saying? Whether the sun was up or down or not. 6 to 6. Now, based off of the framework, if the sun was about to go down, because they said we needed to get his body off the state, clearly the sun was going down at around 6 o'clock because they was in a hurry. Which, if you map that out at the time of year that would be, sounds about right from the standpoint of how we keep time. Ain't that about time by quote unquote April it get dark by 6 o'clock? No, I might be a little right closer to 7. It might be a little closer to 7. I mean, because technically right now the sun going down at about 5:50, 5:55, but it ain't really dark till about 6:30 or so. But you get the gist. Matthew 27, what, 46? 45.
Say now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour.
Now pause. Now I'm not gonna go grab it. I just want y'all to see that that's where that's at. Because when you go to John 19 to tell you that the Shabbat was coming, they needed to get him off the state because that Shabbat was a high day. But do you remember when the sun stood still, they was over there at whose sundial? And remember Hezekiah was dealing with the sundial. That's how they kept time. You got people arguing sun up to sun up is a day because they don't understand culturally and historically how these people kept time. We wouldn't even be having these arguments because they literally kept it from 6 to 6. That was a day. 12 hours. That's why he said, they're not 12 hours in a day. It's not some old deep revelation. These niggas are idiots. You talking about a society and you don't even know how they live. Now you telling people wrong information. And probably because we live in America, and America says 24 hours in a day, meaning get out here and get my money. Because wasn't nobody working at 11 o'clock at night.
Night come, no man can work.
Yeah, no man can work. You at the house. Ain't no street lights. What you out here for? You supposed to be in the house. You had all day to get done what you had to get done. Now sit in here and make yourself something to eat, man, and you know, mount your wife and call it a day. That's why they had the night watch, because they had the same hours for the night watch. But it started over again. Once that 12th hour hit, they started that count again until 6 o'clock in the morning hit. And it was they didn't do it like how the clock do now. When it hit midnight, it start all over again.
It's 2 12 hours.
Yeah, 2 12 hours. That's it. On the graveyard shift. Oh my God, today. What you crying about? You want orange juice? Well, you better go to squeezing it then. You got some oranges?
There's plenty of them.
There's plenty of oranges. Man, that's wild. The sister who I was telling y'all about mentioned that the other day, who she was in here earlier. Man, she talking about her husband used to. That say her husband used to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning talking about make me some freshly squeezed juice. That nigga, that wild. Nah, that nigga crazy. Man, I ain't waking nobody out they sleep talking about make me some juice at 1 o'clock in the morning. Freshly squeezed. That nigga crazy. He said, did the winter change the daylight? It probably changed it, how long the sun was out, Mother Sharona, but it didn't adjust how they counted time because they didn't have a daylight savings time. So 6 to 6 was always going to be daylight time.
But they ain't work the hours in the winter time. That's why
Yeah.
they ain't got
They can't, because they
rotation.
yeah, definitely
Daylight
not.
not the same.
Yeah, definitely not, because them
Around here, guys, I know you getting that last.
them back 6 months of winter time, them people were chilling. Like I say, number one, the crops they were growing, they can't grow them like they want to, and then you ain't got the daylight to be out there. So that's why tabernacles or end gathering was so important, because that's the gathering in of the crop for the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? They get you to a bill.
And most of them crops that they was gathering for the animals, they still do stuff for them. You gotta keep livestock warm and fed.
Yeah, it was, but it was the Lord made it dark. What's that verse at in Isaiah? Where he said, I'll blot out your transgressions like a thick cloud. Get that for 44 and 3, 44 and 5, somewhere in there. We'll find something. But she's asked, the reason why it went dark, you can get Amos 8 too. So she can catch that one too. The Father made it go dark. You know what I'm saying? It was actually daytime, and then he made it go dark. Isaiah 44 and 22. Yes, ma'am.
I have blotted out as a thick cloud.
I blotted out as a what?
As a thick cloud.
Your what?
Transgression.
So when that cloud blotted out the sun at that particular time, it was representative of him blotting out our rebellion. We didn't even read Daniel 9 and 24 yet. We'll get to it. Come on. Isaiah 44 and 22.
I have blotted out as a thick cloud your transgression, and as a cloud your sins return unto me.
Your sins return unto me. What? My God, today. The sins done went back to the Lord. He said he gonna take it. Give me Amos 8. Tell me what 10 say. We might need to move around.
Saying I'll turn your feast into mourning and all your songs into lamentation.
Give me 8 and 8, like the Dallas Cowboys. That's what they used to say on those first tape. 8 and 8.
Shall not the land tremble for this, and everyone mourn that dwell therein?
Oh man, just give verse 1. There's a whole lot of stuff. We ain't talked about this in a long time. I was finna just try to skirt it. Ain't no need to skirt. Let's hold on, Mother Runner. Hold on, I got you. When you look at Isaiah 44 and 22, he said he'll blot out your transgressions as a thick cloud. So I didn't want you to keep that in mind. Now we finna go to Amos 8 once I can get around that. Now we in Amos 8 and 1. Go ahead, Sid.
Thus have Yahuwah Elohim showed unto me, and behold, a basket of summer fruit. And he said, Amos, what see you? And I said, a basket of summer fruit. Then said Yahuwah unto me, the end is come upon my people of Yasharal. I will not again pass by them anymore. And the songs of the
Now
temple,
this is Amos 8 and 2. He said, I will not pass by their transgressions anymore. Listen.
and the songs of the temple shall be howlings in that day, saith Yahuwah Elohim. Many dead bodies in every place. They shall cast forth with silence.
Hear this.
O you that swallow up the needy,
Even to make the poor of the land.
to fail,
When saying, when will the new moon?
be gone.
When that we may sell corn.
And the Shabbat,
That we may set forth wheat.
making the ephah small and the shekel great,
Falsifying the balances.
by deceit,
That we may buy the poor.
for silver,
Buy the poor.
for silver,
By the poor.
for silver,
They bought the Lord for silver, did it not?
Mhm.
And the needy for what?
a pair of shoes
And sell the refuse.
of the wheat,
Yahuwah have sworn,
by the excellency of Jacob,
which would be Mashiach, because he's the excellency, the firstborn, the beginning of his strength. Go ahead.
surely I will never forget any of their works.
Shall the land not tremble?
For this,
And everyone that dwell therein, mourns well,
therein,
it'll rise up holy.
as a flood,
It shall be cast out.
and drowned as the flood of Egypt.
That's why you seen the earthquake come upon his death. Now look at verse 8. Listen what it's verse 9. Listen what it says. And it shall come to pass
And that day, saith Yahuwah Elohim,
that I will make the sun.
go down at noon.
I will make the sun,
go down at noon,
and I will darken the earth.
in the clear day.
So this is why you see it went dark at noon, because Amos had already told us that this was going to happen. We just looked at Isaiah 44 for the aspect of, he said, I'll blot out your transgressions like a thick cloud. So you see the cloud or the darkening of the sun is representative of your sins being blotted out while he is on this state. Even more so representative that he is the Lamb of God, if you would, as John the Baptist put it. Let's look at verse 10 though. This time, and then he said, I'll turn your feasts into what?
Mourning,
And your songs,
it's a lamentation,
and I will bring up sackcloth
upon all loins,
and baldness,
upon every head,
and I will make it as the morning of an only.
and the end thereof as a bitter day.
Now, only, son's not there, but that word is your kid, and that's literally for only begotten son. So he said after he rose from the dead, what did he say to his apostles? What manner of communications are these that you are sad? He turned that feast day, which should have been a joyous occasion, into a mourning. And you would be in bitterness for your only son. So Amos is giving you the instance of why because it wasn't that it was dark just because it was middle of the day with noon. It wasn't supposed to be dark. He made it go dark. Number one, to show forth the aspect of creation, because Mashiach say he is the light of the world. So in the midst of that darkness, there was light. Then making it go dark in the aspect of what we read in Isaiah 44 and 22, blotting out your transgressions. And then the aspect of what he prophesied in Amos, that I will make it go dark at the noonday. And then it was dark for 3 hours. Prayerfully that helped. Where we was at? What you had before that, good sir?
Back in Isaiah 58.
Well, come on back to
Unless you
Isaiah
want that Daniel 9 now.
Yeah, come on, run Daniel 9:20.
Say 70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon your Kadash city to finish the transgression.
To finish the what? To
Transgression
make it end.
of sins,
To what?
make reconciliation for iniquity,
And what else?
to bring in everlasting righteousness,
And what else?
to seal up the vision and prophecy,
And to anoint.
the most Kadash.
That's it. This is the same thing he's saying in Isaiah 58. This is the purpose of him afflicting himself on the Day of Atonement. Because this is literally what he's saying. Isaiah 58 and 11. And Yahuwah shall what?
Guide you continually,
And satisfy your.
soul and drought.
Remember, he said you won't be careful in drought. You won't have any anxiety, because even in the midst of drought, you'll be fed. And you shall be like a what?
Make your bones fat. You shall be like a watered garden.
What water garden is this? Eden.
And like a spring of water whose waters fail not.
If the waters don't fail, that means it's what? John 7:37. You like 747? That's what Doris like to fly on that. She got to be on a jumbo jet. So I fly Delta, never Spirit. Or you like American Airlines? In Jeopardy?
JetBlue.
Oh, you want to be in Jeopardy? I don't get on no Spirit. I don't want to be a Spirit. I think they went bankrupt. If I'm not mistaken. I think they filed for bankruptcy.
They said Spirit never had that plane crash now, so we'll see.
Man, some plane crash at any time. Then I'm good. If it's gonna fall out the sky, it's gonna fall out the sky. But one thing I can say, if you're a saint of God, you might be able to keep that plane from falling out the sky because you own it. That ain't no joke. Well, if it's somebody you who a fool with, just you being there can save many souls alive. When in another situation they might be dead. Remember what he told Jehoshaphat and Ahab. He told Ahab, man, if it wasn't for Jehoshaphat, man, I wouldn't even see you.
He told Abraham he'll spare the city for
one righteous man. Boy, if he fool with you, boy, he'll spare everybody's life could be spared just because you there. He said, God, because if you wasn't there, boy, I kill all these niggas. You better be lucky he there. This nigga over here kissing this nigga in the mouth. Look at him in the Range Rover with the boy. Over there in the Range Rover with the boy. And they don't even got to say thank you. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? Happens more often than you think. Oh, I meant to put this in the chat too, man. I don't know if this is the actual declassified documents, but I do got the MLK files. Oh, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. You know, that he was a communist, that he liked to participate in orgies and homosexual orgies at that. I didn't know about the homosexuals. Yeah, that's what it said, literally.
you doing the orgy. That's what we gave regardless.
Now, some people are orgies that just swap a partner. It's not man on man.
Like you said, it's multiple swinging in one room. That's homo enough. I can look to my left and you swinging.
Well, see, they want to do more than look to the left.
You hear me? Yeah, I'm good.
He want to sling. I can't even sling Clarence Carter in this situation.
Look, yeah, that's fun. So what else?
Oh, I mean, this regular stuff, regular. Most of it. You know, make more details. No, that was known. Yeah, they accused him of being a communist the whole time. Yeah. I mean, him and the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying?
Black Panthers.
Yeah, that's known. Yeah, they always say them both. You know what I'm saying?
Before they got infiltrated.
Shoot, from the jump. Yeah. I mean, I was already hip on all that. You know what I'm saying? But like I told y'all, you know, he had the movie where Mary J. Blige played Coretta. Like, people don't want that stuff to come out because they feel like it's a smear campaign against these men. But I told you before, you don't know these people. If the man was freaky like that, then he just was freaky like that. And it's just that simple. If you think that's going to take away from what he was doing or what he did, hey, that's on you. But that's who he was. And if you think the Father in heaven going to look past that, remember what he told you in Luke 16 and 15. Y'all know what he said in Luke 16 and 15? Don't worry about it. Pacific going to read it for you. Luke 16 and 15.
And he said unto them, you are they which justify yourselves before men, but Elohim know your hearts. For that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of Elohim.
That which is highly esteemed among men is a what?
Abomination in the sight of Elohim.
That's all you need to know. What I'm talking about? You can take that and do with it what you want to. I ain't got nothing to say about the man because I ain't never met the man clearly. He died 12 years before I was born. You know what I'm saying?
You got a name with some flames.
You know, I'll read you a piece of it. Hold on. Here go one of them right here. King's personal conduct. With the funds that he received from the Ford Foundation, King held the first of 2 workshops in Miami, Florida in February 1968 to train Negro ministers in urban leadership. One Negro minister in attendance later expressed his disgust with the behind-the-scenes drinking, fornication, and homosexuality that went on at the conference. Several Negro and white prostitutes were brought in from the Miami area. An all-night sex orgy was held with these prostitutes and some of the delegates in attendance. One room had a large table in it, which was filled with whiskey. The 2 Negro prostitutes were paid $50 to put on a sex show for the entertainment of guests. A variety of sex acts deviating from the normal were observed. Previous sexual experiences. This activity is not new to King and his associates. As early as January 1964, King engaged in another 2-day drunken sex orgy in Washington, D.C. Many of those present engaged in sexual acts, natural as well as unnatural, for the entertainment of onlookers. When one of the females shied away from engaging in an unnatural act, King and other of the males present discussed how she was to be taught and initiated in this respect. Throughout the ensuing years and until this date, King has continued to carry on his sexual aberrations secretly while holding himself out to the public view as a moral leader of religious conviction. King's mistress. It was learned in February 1968 from a responsible Los Angeles individual in a position to know what King had been having an illicit love affair with the wife of a prominent Negro dentist in Los Angeles, California since 1962. He believes King fathered a baby girl born to this woman inasmuch as her husband is allegedly sterile. The child resembles King to a great degree, and King contributes to the support of this child. He calls this woman every Wednesday and frequently meets her in various cities throughout the country. The individual who reported this is himself a prominent Negro who is related by law to King's mistress. He advised he has known King since 1960 and refers to him as a hypocrite. He also reported that King is having illicit love affairs with 3 other women, one of whom is Joan Baez, the nationally known folk singer. The prominent Negro who furnished the information said he was appalled that a man of King's low character could cause so much trouble for both Negroes and the government.
That makes sense. He want peace and butt.
I mean, when we look at certain things, man, all jokes aside, Paul stated that do not look at men above that which is written. One thing with black people, because we live in an oppressed state in this particular God-forsaken place, that if it's somebody who looks like us that is considered to be prominent, we put it in our mind that these men are incapable of doing anything contrary to the image that we want to hold them to. So if there's any information that comes out that would shape the image of what we have of this person, you don't want to hear it. Even though the information of this man being a sexual degenerate has been known at least my entire life that I know of. You know what I'm saying? I've heard this since the late 80s. You know what I'm saying? This nigga was a pervert. I actually heard an FBI agent say, and I quote, Malcolm X compared to Martin Luther King is a choir boy. Because he said, because Malcolm is actually living what he is saying. So in these circles from these people who were watching these men, because they were both being watched by the FBI, obviously they knew that King was a pervert. They didn't have these things to say about Malcolm X. They said Malcolm X wasn't doing any of these things. But this man was who he said he was. But for me, I could see that because he was a street nigga. Like a real deal street nigga. So they ain't I don't see no faking and flogging with him to a degree. Because that's not the environment that he comes from. You know what I'm saying? To where I can be one thing in public and another thing in private. King don't come from that. So he can feel comfortable. Hey, when I clock out, I'm going to do me.
Yeah, him being pastor is already said.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I seen it. I don't look at him as anything other than a false preacher. Not because of his I Give a Dream speech and all that other stuff, because he's supposed to have been a pastor, but he lived according to the flesh. I can't call him nothing but a false preacher. Because if you think God gonna send somebody who would cause his name to be blasphemed just so you can have some civil rights, you don't know God.
So I'm gonna see Pastor Cornell.
My heart. That mean he ain't sent him. Oh, you see, you tried to tell your mom about if anybody believe Al Sharpton a real preacher, boy. Hey, boy. That boy was selling coke. Al Sharpton was selling coke. Got caught. This man been a federal informant since 1988. Shoot, he might still do. Jesse Jackson been slinging meat. The difference with Jesse was, allegedly, Jesse was supposed to take Martin's place. Because they say he was keyed in that this man was going to be killed. But nobody liked Jesse like that. Jesse didn't have the oratory skills that Martin Luther King Jr. had. Yeah, Mama said, they say allegedly, you know, that everybody wore different suits or ties. Like when you see the picture, you know what I'm saying? To know who to shoot. And then they pointing this way, pointing away from where the gunshots came from. Because you can look at Judge Joe Brown because he did a deep dive in the case. You can find this out. James Earl Ray did not shoot this man. He was a patsy. Somebody we can easily put this on because who cares about some Tennessee white trash? Make up a story, you go for it. That man ain't shoot that man. You know what I'm saying? That's an inside job. And allegedly, that's why he was at that hotel. He was out there tricking.
That was an outlaw hotel.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna put it in the group chat. That's from the FBI file, what I just read, but it's people who've been close to the situation. I've heard this stuff my entire life. Well, I'm gonna say my entire adolescence. You know what I'm saying? You know, at an early age, we were going outside the box. You know what I'm saying? But I've definitely seen interviews. I can't even recall where I've seen that interview where Buddy was literally like, yeah, man, Malcolm X is a choir boy. From what I done seen, the FBI had a high level of respect for Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? As forth as being who he said he was. You know what I'm saying? According to their narrative. I can tell that they had no respect for Martin Luther King Jr. at all. You know what I'm saying? At all. Because they knew he was a fraud. When I'm talking about a fraud, meaning like, look here, man, at the end of the day, yeah, and I've seen that too, that Martin actually survived the shooting and that they killed him at the hospital. They actually smothered him to death. And I could go for that. You know what I'm saying? Because they had to make sure he was dead. You know what I'm saying? They were done with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that he was a rabble route. Man, he couldn't be doing all that freaky stuff. And they would have been put that out there on that man. That means he was on their payroll. You know what I'm saying? They following this man around and they ain't leaked that stuff, man.
Yeah. And then you still give him the whole day and all that.
All that after that? Yeah, the same token, listen, we were talking about the same token. They knew JFK was a freak. They knew he was having freak-offs at the White House. They ain't put none of that stuff out there till after they murked him. They know this, man. They don't be, look here, man. Never put nobody on a pedestal. You can have appreciation for their work. You can have appreciation for their accomplishments. But, boy, you don't know them people, man. Boy, the Lord will have you out here looking like a fool. Because you around here like this, that, there, and the third, and this nigga around here. Now, just imagine if this man don't let a man play in his butt. You gonna give him a pass because he was out here marching? He let a nigga play in his butt. And stood in the pulpit on Sunday talking about praise God. A nigga just was playing with your rectum. Like, come on, man. And that's why you can't be pro-black. You got to be pro-Yahuwah. And people look at you crazy for not reverencing him. And I understand why they do. Because a lot of people have an appreciation for the things that he did. But then we have to look at it like this here. If he truly was controlled opposition, then none of that was for your benefit. You know what I'm saying? Now, how that was to be for your destruction, that's a whole nother conversation. And again, this ain't to denigrate him as an individual because we don't know him. But if this man engaged in these activities, man, you know who ain't had nothing to do with him. Because he said, we seek to be justified. Shall we be sinners? God forbid, is a Mashiach the minister of sin, then we have to say that God taught this man to sin to represent him. That's absolutely insane. And we know T.D. Jakes ain't of the Lord just for them little behind pants he was wearing. Look at this nigga here, boy. That nigga look like he finna go to a job interview. That nigga look like he finna go work at Aetna. Blue Cross and Blue Shield. He might as well have put on a tie and the suit jacket.
He definitely halfway.
That nigga got all that on. He ain't got no fragrance on. My God, today. He said smell good. That ain't what we call it. We grown now.
That's funny.
We're talking about marijuana. How many niggas say that?
That's what you talking about.
Yeah, so you got on your fragrance, man. You grown. How you gonna have a grown man's outfit with a young man's vocabulary? Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Come on, man. Isaiah 58:12.
You want the John 7:37?
Oh, I'm sorry. John 7:37. Yeah, that's why you ain't never heard them talking about releasing Malcolm's files like that. Like people have been pressed for JFK and MLK files, obviously for their assassination. You know what I'm saying? But also for the other salacious details that individuals want. I've never heard nothing salacious about Robert Kennedy, but I think they pushing that because of his murder. But
Robert.
Say I know somebody who tells how his father idol worship his child almost like a shrine in the house with photos. Yeah, he definitely need to be careful with that behavior because if that child die, he gonna kill himself. Kill somebody. Man, you gotta love that which is in the flesh because you only got them for a short time. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother deal. Yeah, I ain't never heard nothing salacious about RFK, but if his brother was a freak, he might have been a freak too. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But he got assassinated as well by an Arab dude. I think the Arab dude should be dead by now. Sirhan, that was his name. Let me see. There it is. Sirhan. No, he's still kicking. 80 years old. The Palestinian Jordanian man who assassinated Robert F. Kennedy. He was the Democratic nominee for president in 1968. He died on June 5th, 1968. He died a month after Martin Luther King died. Did Martin Luther King die April 4th, 1968? His motive for killing that he was an anti-Zionist. He was in opposition to Israel. He initially got the death penalty, but then it was commuted to life with the possibility of parole. He is currently, and he ain't even in federal prison. He in state prison. He's at Donovan Correctional Facility in California. Let me tell you, what April 4th, 1968?
Is that what it said?
So he died like 2 months after King. Oh, you say, have you seen the movie when they talk about King's affair with women it's not spoken about? Because black people want it to be propaganda. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see how that would be propaganda when his legacy is pretty much solidified. You know what I'm saying? That's why they got mad at B. Simone and her friend for saying something about him cheating on his wife. That just goes to show that black people don't really hold any type of standard code or ethics at all when it comes to anything that is done by anyone who's considered to be noteworthy. Because I've been told you this here. A man who say he a preacher and can lie to his wife and sleep with multiple women will lie to God, so I don't care what he's done. I don't care. Do you not know the Lord said there'll be many people who come and say we did many wonderful works in your name, and he's going to say, depart from me, you work of iniquity. I never knew you. So that means that man don't care about that. But black folks don't want to hear that. But he marched and he did this and he's going to march his way to hell if he died like that. He going to march his way to hell. Because the Lord ain't gonna care about none of that. He ain't gonna care about your bus boycott. He ain't gonna care about your sit-ins. You blaspheme my name. You see, we don't care about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't walk around holding the Bible claiming that you a preacher of Yahuwah and being sour and think he care about, well, I fed the hungry, I'm finna feed you in hell. Well, I clothed the naked, well, I'm finna clothe you in hell. Well, I housed the homeless, and I'm finna house you in hell. And we have to stop making excuses for these people, man. Get out your goddamn feelings. You got more goddamn reverence for flesh and blood than you do for your own God. Making excuses for these wicked bastards, man. If the nigga was wicked, he was wicked. It is what it is. Deal with it. You want Yahuwah to make an exception because then he got to make an exception for you. Meanwhile, you got people who sitting on here right now who've been afflicted themselves, denying themselves, standing for righteousness, and you think a wicked nigga's supposed to get the same reward as them just because he did something that men hold in high esteem? Come on, man. Come on, man. That ain't how the game go, baby. That's not how the game go, baby. That's not how the game go. You ain't got to like it, but Yahuwah gonna make you respect it. You know what I'm talking about? And you shouldn't be condoning that. You have to learn to separate the works from the man. You can have respect for the work that he did in society and know that when it comes to the word, that nigga going to hell. You know what I'm saying? I done told you plenty of times, you got people on a natural level are good people, but in heaven, they wicked. You know what I'm talking about? And that's just is what it is, man. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing personal about it. Isaiah 50, all business, baby. Ain't never personal.
John 7:37.
7:37. I don't know these people to be angry with.
Saying the last day, that great of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying,
What he said?
Any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink.
What else?
He that believe on me, as the scriptures have
Out
said,
of his belly
shall flow rivers of living water.
This spake he
of the Ruach, which they that believe on him should receive. The Ruach HaKadosh was not yet, because that Yahushua was not yet esteemed.
Not yet esteemed, baby. Come on. Well, back to Isaiah 58 and 12. We almost to the end of this.
And of you shall build the old waste places. You shall raise up the foundations.
You build the old what?
Waste places.
You build up the old what?
Waste places.
And raise up the who?
Foundations of many generations.
Many what?
Generations.
And you shall be called
the repairer of the breach.
My God,
the restorer of paths to dwell in.
Tell them what repair of the breach is, man. You repairing the breach? We talked about the breach not too long ago, didn't we?
That's Gadar. To wall up, to close off, to build a wall.
To build a wall. And you know, breach is Peresh. That's the busting forth. He prepared, he done walled off God's wrath. That's really what it means. He done closed that off. Because this is the fast that he's chosen for a man to afflict himself. And because he afflicted himself, he rose him from the dead. And then I guess you know. Let's continue, sir. If you turn away your foot from the what?
Shabbat.
From doing your what?
Your pleasure. On my Kadash day.
They call it Shabbat a what?
A delight.
The Kadash.
Of Yahuwah.
Honorable.
You shall honor him.
Not doing your own
ways.
Nor finding your own
pleasure.
Nor speaking your own
words.
All it means is if you can look at this man's set apart day and see it as a day for you not to do what it is that you take pleasure in, there'll be a reward, which is literally when you look, when this man was about to be killed, he said, not my what?
Not my will.
But what?
Your will.
So that means he didn't speak his own words and that day did it. Did he seek his own pleasure? Did he find out his own way? A lot of people, man, the Sabbath come around, you want to sit up and you want to do everything you do the other 144 hours. You know what I'm talking about? It's not a delight to you. You don't find it honorable. You don't. It's not a day for you. You got 6 days a week to watch movies, man. You got 6 days a week to do all that other stuff. You mean to tell me you don't got enough discipline to refrain yourself for 24 hours? I don't think that's an unreasonable ask. It ain't like he's saying you got to do this every day. He said just 24. I want you to rest in memorial and remembrance of me so that you can learn of me, be strengthened by me, and be guided by me. I just want 24 hours. That's not a lot.
You're going to be asleep for about 8 of them.
You're going to be asleep for 8 to 12. I don't know. Some people here don't get that.
Average person.
No, ain't no average. You saying that because you ain't got no kids in there right now. That's small.
I mean, I only sleep about 4 hours.
Damn. Once you get them kids in there that small, see, my children don't let D sleep. When they wake up in the middle of the night, they don't come looking for me. They come looking for us. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to do none of that. Joanna throw a fit. I don't want you. I want my mom. They got to get woke up before they want me. They got to be rolling. I think it's because they breastfed. You know what I'm saying? They don't want me. Joanna get up in the middle of the night, come in the room. Why y'all ain't in here laying in here with me? Somebody need to be in the bed with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when they small, you know, they try to steal 2-3 hours from you. I had a joke for them 4 hours, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. If you would understand what captivity meant in Hebrew, it wouldn't be so diabolical to you. But we ain't even talking about the aspect of keeping the law as justification for ourselves. That's nothing. We talking about for the strengthening of the inward man. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to walk around boasting about keeping the law. You say keeping the law is diabolical in captivity, but you keep it so you don't go to Mr. Charlie jailhouse, so you ain't got to put your head on no bench and spread your booty cheeks open for no cavity search. You know what I'm talking about? So that's a false equivalency. You know what I'm saying? It's false equivalency. And I ain't even saying that to you specifically, but just in general. Like, niggas do stuff not to go to jail. The stuff that Yahuwah telling us to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, that junk ain't even that serious. To not do, like, and I'm being serious. I know we done said this before, right? Like, what's so hard about not lying to somebody? What's hard about doing just business? You know what I'm saying? What's hard about not being a common freak? Why are you having sex with your sister? Why is you having sex with your mama? Why is you running trains? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at that junk, that just leads to peaceable living. Now, you would think that, see, that's a common misconception, right? Because a lot of people say that. You would think anybody with logical sense would have good morals, but that's not the truth, because your quote-unquote morals are only going to be based off who raised you. You know what I'm saying? You don't come out the womb with goodness. Case in point, if you come up in a family of street niggas, guess what you finna be? Peace, brother Nate. Everything that they do, if you come up in a family of drug dealers, guess what you gonna be? So it's not innate. It's something that you have to be taught that. Now, some people have a proclivity to not being evil, but for the most part, guess what? It's a lot of young girls who grew up to be whores because nobody taught them no better. Because we think logically she should keep her legs closed. But I say that as, where do we get that thought process from? That goes back to what I was talking about last night. We put the way that we think that everybody should be like that, and everybody ain't you. Because some people come up in some bad environments. You understand what I'm telling you? And I ain't talking about no neighborhoods either. I'm talking about the 4 walls they live in. Catching pure D hell in there. You know what I'm saying? They is not going to come out here in the world and make good decisions. You know what I'm saying? They is not going to come out here in the world and be caring, compassionate, and considerate of other people. Imagine you come up in a household with a selfish mother and an absent father. And I'm talking about absent, and he live there. You know what I'm talking about? Now, just imagine what type of person that's going to be. Yeah. That boy don't stand a chance. Cussing that boy out. It was Tabernacle's mother's room. Yeah, he gonna spaz out. He don't stand a chance. Man, me and Fat Boy used to talk about this all the time. Some people were scarred because they had their parents, and some people were blessed because they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that junk really, for lack of a better term, man, that junk really a crapshoot. Because the type of person you gonna become is gonna be based off of who was hunching. You know what I'm saying? That brought you about. Because like I was telling the sister earlier, like, hey, my people love me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come from an unloving environment. You know what I'm saying? So my perspective on certain things is different. Well, I've been around people, boy, they ain't come from no loving environment, or their parents was crackheads. You know what I'm talking about? All type of stuff, man. They got to fight a hell of a battle. to even be baseline. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends. So I beat the odds on that. I was still smart, loving, kind, and compassionate despite the circumstances. But praise you, but I also couldn't emotionally regulate. Yeah. I mean that's trauma, Mika. So you know that's what come with that. You know what I mean? But we just talked about that last night. We don't even account like real deal traumas that people suffer as a child. You know what I'm saying? That also affects their ability to regulate their decision making and to have some semblance of good morals. Because let's just be honest, most people ain't good. They good in their own mind, but most people ain't good. Most people are very self-centered. Most people are very egotistical. Most people are very contentious. Most people are very passive-aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Most people are very unkind. You know what I'm saying? You just tell yourself you're a good person to feel good about yourself so you can sleep at night. Because you think you better because you ain't robbing, killing, and raping. That's how America has made us think. I ain't doing what them niggas doing in prison, so I'm good. You just as bad as them. You just ain't went to the extremes they went to. Yeah, you just as bad. I told that CO that when I was in prison, when they killed Braswell. I said, boy, you a wicked bastard. You supposed to be in here with us. You know what I'm saying? You ain't no better than us because you got this outfit on. You the same as us. You supposed to be in blue behind this door. You a killer because you killed this man and you bragging about it. But he go home, he tell himself he a good man. Yeah, man. I mean, it all depends, bro, to be honest with you. Like I said, man, it all depends on the testicles that you emanated from and the womb that he impregnated. Because your daddy might not be about nothing, but your mama might be about something. Or your mama might not be about nothing, and your daddy might be about something. Or both of them could be about something, and both of them could be absolute utter trash. And when I say that, I'm talking about like in character. To actually have some type of wisdom and understanding to give you, but most importantly, to actually love and care about you. Because we hear too many stories about people talking about how they felt like their parents ain't love them, to expect people to have good morals, good thinking, and good emotional control and regulation. Not in this godforsaken place. You know what I'm saying? The one thing about the word removes everything that man want to do. I know a lot of people like, the Bible is the control. Control who? Because all these people who handle it, evil as hell. So clearly they're not following it. Because what is it? What's being controlled? Nobody's being controlled. These people are hypocrites. We really just read about a man that if all these things are true, you know what I'm talking about? This nigga was a freak while pretending to be godly in our face. So it's the word is not the issue. It's the people. You know what I'm saying? People are wicked as hell. But guess what? The average person don't know the word. They don't know what's in it. So their thought, this is why he say don't do this because you cause my name to be what? Blaspheme. Because they're going to look at me like this because you a wicked bastard. You know what I'm saying? But people don't teach nobody that. Don't nobody say that. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to be a fake nigga, man. Man, who are a real one? But most of the people who represent him, they fake as hell. That's why he don't fool with them. Imagine yourself being a real nigga and you got a whole bunch of fake niggas talking about they down with you. Now, how would you move on that? Oh, you who had mercy on him. You know what I'm saying? He had mercy on him. Because we just read that earlier. Matter of fact, he said, why do you think David wasn't stoned? In the Exodus, he said he had mercy on whom he'll have mercy on. He put the sin away. At the end of the day, Yahuwah will be merciful to who he wants. It's a lot of people in the book he put their sin away for who should have died. You know what I'm saying? You know, mercy rejoiced against judgment. David showed a lot of mercy to a lot of people. And when it was time for him to get mercy, Yahuwah, he extended it to him. You know what I'm saying? You could be an individual when it's time for judgment on your end, but you were never merciful to anybody. You're not going to get none. But the thing is David wasn't showing mercy thinking I'm going to do a sin later and get mercy on the back end. He was just genuinely a merciful individual. You know what I'm talking about? But he let his wee get him in trouble. It happens. You know what I'm saying? I think every man in here can say probably once or twice in their lifetime, they let their wee get them in a spot they shouldn't have been in. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't even talking about necessarily sexually. You could have been going to fool with a woman, be in the wrong neighborhood. Now you got to duck, dodge, and hide so something don't happen to you because you know you ain't had no business going around here fooling with this chick, chasing after them cheeks. You know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is. You think the rest of the Israelites were scared? Well, the rest of the Israelites didn't even know what he had done. You know what I'm saying? Yahuwah had just sent Nathan to him to rebuke him. The rest of them, they didn't know what he had done. And they wouldn't put their hands on the king anyway, because the law doesn't allow them to do that. It's not like a free-for-all. And then most of them weren't going to do nothing to him because they probably were just doing some old foul stuff doggone self. You know what I'm saying? One of the misconceptions is that everybody who deals with the word is going to be godly. Truth be told, if you got 100 people, you'd be lucky if 10 of them really own that for real. Like, own it. I'm not talking about people struggling with certain things. I'm talking about, like, really own it. Rest of them, they capping. They capping. This ain't what they want to do.
Only 2 people got in.
Yeah. You got 600,000 people, only 2 people believe the man. What that takes? Which reminds me, I had something that I wanted to go over this evening. She did. He spared her too. I mean, who does a lot of people, bro? He spared Saul. He spared Ahab. He spared Solomon. Like, him sparing people is not a new thing. A lot of people want to just act like he just killed everybody who sinned. He didn't. More people got spared than more people got took out, because that's in his name when he declared that he's merciful and gracious and long-suffering. He did do Uriah dirty, and that's why he lost all his wives. The baby he had died. That's why the sword stayed in his house. See, he'll forgive you, but he by no means clears the guilty. A punishment is coming with that. Yeah, punishment coming with that. He took some major L's, man. You know what I'm saying? His son came for him. His son got killed. All type of stuff. He just ain't get away like, oh, you forgive it and you just go on with your life. Oh, no, Yahuwah don't operate like that. A punishment is coming with that. No man would. You'll forgive your son, but still punish him. You just ain't gonna be like, son, you good. In the open. He said, well, everybody could see it. He said, I'm gonna take all your wives and give them to your neighbor and let them everybody see it. You know what I'm talking about? Since you did it in secret, I'm gonna let your wives get punched, their back punched in the open. Because you're like, boy, you played a dirty game. Boy, you dead wrong for that. Yeah, he took major L's for that. And guess what he didn't do? He didn't complain. He said, what good is it if you get buffeted for your faults and complain? You shouldn't have did it. Why David ain't say nothing? What I'm gonna say? I'm dead wrong. Not only did I take this man's wife and impregnate her, I sent the man on a death. I sent him on a Saul. I sent him while I Saul sent me. Yeah. No, Yahuwah don't operate like that, man. He can forgive you, but he gonna punish you. You know what I'm saying? It's the same token of you might not beat your son, but he gonna get some check. Gonna get something. I'm finna take something up out of here. You finna take a loss somewhere. Yeah, man. Hey, man, let me get that video game. You ain't doing this. Whatever the case. I'm just using random as that, but you ain't got to beat the brakes off of. You can say, son, I'm gonna put that transgression away, but you got to take a loss somewhere because you got to learn. Don't play with me. Don't play with me, boy. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. But nevertheless, let's finish this on up. Dwayne Jamal, who you yelling at? That's why your neck, I can't see your neck. Your neck went away. Come on. Hold on, he said didn't even deny what Nathan said. No, he didn't. He definitely did deny what Nathan said to him. When he said the man who did that should die, Nathan said, you are that man. He said, oh God, I done sinned against you. He said, my parents took my controllers, took my games. All I could do was watch the title screen play over and over. Hey. Yeah, that's pretty much what he did to David, bro. He didn't beat the brakes off of him, but he took a loss. The same deal. But like I said, because we were talking about it earlier, you know, a lot of people, they get the misconception that the Old Testament, he just stone, kill. And the reality of it, when you examine it, no, he wasn't on that. That man is very, very long suffering, bro. He's slow to wrath. For sure. He just ain't coming off the top rope just to be coming off the top rope. It's just dudes who represent him make it like that because they wicked as hell and they want to transport that type of energy onto other people when that's really not God's character. When he declared his name in Exodus 34:6, this man say he is merciful, gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, showing mercy to thousands, and he forgives sin, iniquity, and transgression. And every time he declared his name, those things are in it. Slow to anger, merciful, gracious, forgiving. That is who he is. The wrath is when you pushing me to no other point, which everybody in here knows. If you got kids, you may not want to whoop them kids, but they being so defiant that they leaving you no other choice that I got to put this belt to behind. I didn't want to beat you, but you keep sizing me. You're leaving me no other option. You know what I'm talking about? But anybody who genuinely love their kids, whooping you is not my first option. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to correct your behavior. It's more important for me that your behavior get corrected than me beating on you. And when you look at the text, it was more important to him that your behavior get corrected than just killing you. But sometimes some people had to get made an example out of. And it just is what it is. Come on, man. Verse 14, and we out of here.
It say, then shall you delight yourself in Yahuwah, and I will cause you to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed you with the heritage of Jacob, your father.
And you know the heritage of Jacob, your father, is the land or the inheritance. Now I'm going to ask y'all this question, right? Because this came to my mind in the gym the other day. Matthew 17:1, read that real fast. And we're going to get out of here. Because it's time for Saturday night's main event tonight.
And after 6 days, Yahweh shall take Peter, James, and John his brother, and bring them up into a high mountain apart.
He brought them where?
To a high mountain apart.
Well, who was up there? No, go ahead.
And was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah talking with them.
Why are they on a mountain according to the law? Why is that important? Why are they on the mountain with Moses? Oh, no, not that one there. Not this time. Let me say that. Not this time. Sunday. Not this time. Why they on the mountain? Why does he taking them up on the mountain and he's getting transfigured and Moses pop up? Which time? That's very general, sir.
When he got him the second time, when he got the tablets second time.
No, not the tablets this time. Not the tablets this time. He was. But this is different. We ain't talking about Elijah. Anybody? Why they go up on the mountain with this transfiguration? And Moses is there. What's causing all this? Oh, they had a wrestling show tonight. I wasn't going out at night, boy. It'd be bricking Daly's place. I drunk outside, boy. They got Collision tonight. If I had to choose between Collision and watching Saturday night's main event, I'd stay home and watch Saturday night's main event. They're going to have Jacob Fatu on tonight. That's a real nigga. That boy did a promo. That boy he said, I'm raw with it. Straight off the scale with it. Uncut with it. I said, oh, boy. That boy dropping coke bars on the people. They don't even know it. Come over here to Deuteronomy 34:1, man. Maybe it'll help you out. Come on with it.
And Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo to the top of Pisgah that was over against Jericho. And Yahuwah showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan.
Go ahead.
And all Naphtali and all Ephraim and all Manasseh and all the land of Yehudah unto the utmost sea. And the south and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of the palm trees.
That's it.
Zoar. Yahuwah said unto him, this is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto your seed. I have caused you to see with your eyes.
But ye shall not what?
Go over there. So Moses, the servant of Yahuwah, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of Yahuwah.
Now he died where?
In Moab.
But when they was on that mountain, where they was at, though, Sibby? In Matthew. I'm sorry. Yeah, Nebo is in Moab. In Matthew, they was in the land. You know what I'm talking about? So Just looking at it from the aspect of in the transfiguration, Moses is there, and guess what he got to actually be in the place that his eyes only seen, now his foot standing in. You know what I'm talking about? Now Elijah being there, that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm talking about? But this hit my mind. I forgot what I heard or was going through my brain at the time. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we don't read this a lot. Go ahead.
Matthew 17?
No, Deuteronomy. You can finish the whole chapter. Deuteronomy 34 and 4. So that's the last thing we're going to talk about. We out of here.
And Yahuwah said unto him, this is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto your seed. I have caused you to see with your eyes, but you shall not go over there.
Mm-hmm.
So Moses, the servant of Yahuwah, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of Yahuwah. And he buried him in a valley in the land of Moab, over against Beth Peor, but no man knoweth his sepulchre unto this day.
And Moses
was 120 years old when he died. His eyes was not dim, nor his natural force abated.
Mm-hmm.
And the children of Yasharah wept for Moses in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended.
And Yahushua the son of Nun
was full of the ruach of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him.
Paul, this is where you see that, where you get that when Paul them talking about laying hands of the presbytery for individuals to receive the Spirit. Say he was full of the Spirit because Moses did what?
He laid his hands upon him.
That's why you see that in there, because that's coming from the law. That's not no Christian thing. That's in the law that happened a few times. Go ahead.
And the children of Yasharah hearkened unto him and did as Yahuwah commanded Moses.
And there arose not
a prophet since in Yasharah like unto Moses, whom Yahuwah knew face to face.
Now, how people gonna tell you Yahushua son of Nun, a prophet like unto Moses, and it say right here in the law there arose no prophet like Moses to this day? Read it again for the simple person in the back.
And there arose not a prophet since in Yasharah.
There arose not a what?
A prophet since.
Not a who?
Not a prophet since.
Like
unto Moses,
whom Yahuwah
knew face to face.
And you know that Yahushua son of Nun ain't that, because it mentioned him the verse before that. It would have said he was a prophet like unto Moses. Right then, this statement wouldn't even have to be made.
And all the signs and the wonders which Yahuwah sent him to do in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land.
And then
all that mighty hand and all the great terror which Moses showed in the sight of all Yasharah.
So prayerfully y'all understood what that looked like with him fulfilling the Day of Atonement in his suffering by literally being humbled and afflicted. You know what I'm talking about? To make the reconciliation. You know what I'm talking about? For the purging of sin, and then for the Jubilee, for the setting forth of liberty, and then actually doing what he said is an acceptable fast by doing that unto the people. So hallelujah for Yahushua and the word. I appreciate y'all time this afternoon. Bless y'all the house. Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Yahuwah willing, we'll be back at it on Wednesday. Make it do what it do. But I think because we took the direction with Yahuwah Brew, blessings, Brother Nate. Shalom, Sister Regina. Peace, Brother Joseph, man. Amen, Brother Herman, man. Peace, 10K. Amen, Brother Mark, man. Love you too, bro. Be safe out here, man. Yes, sir. So, amen, Brother Marvin, man. Shalom, Eric, man. So, y'all willing? I think because we started dealing with how bind meant affliction. I think we we could go further, but I think we done finished that out. Peace, Misha. So what we gonna do is dwell with your wives according to knowledge is the next thing on deck. So that's what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Yahuwah permit. So again, I appreciate y'all. Bless out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yahuwah willing. On Wednesday, we'll pick that up and make it do what it do. Shalom, Robert, man.